Play about to commence at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Ball thrown up in the air. Alistair Ford gets the first tap. It runs out wide where Paul Hawke, a last-minute replacement, cops one too high, plays on immediately, gets a hand pass to Healy. Healy over the top. An awkward bounce for Greg Healy, and Greg Williams, I should say, and Nixon takes it away for St Kilda. Punched away from Owen, picked up by Toohey. He swings the ball down towards the forward area, and Greg Williams takes the mark. Put one a little bit high, and Williams hand passes immediately. Not unusual for Williams. Terry Thripp takes it, goes goalward. At the back, it's Morwood. Kappa's there also. Kappa runs the left foot snap. First goal of the game, Warwick Kappa.
Great goal there from Warwick Kappa. Great recovery also from Warwick Kappa, who contested the ball in the goal square, fell loose after a punch away by a St Kilda defender. Here we look on replay, a kick into the square by Terry Thripp, who incidentally has had a couple of good games for the Swans over the last couple of weeks, and Kappa kicked a good goal, picking the ball up off the ground.
Great play by Kappa, and that is going to make Danny Frawley nice and dirty, because he hates having goals kicked against him, as we see Alistair Ford getting it out wide. Here's a chance again, as coming through is Murphy. Centre half forward for the Swans. It's a free kick to Murphy. He gets it wide. A hand pass from Neagle. Comes across to Toohey. Toohey a short pass towards half forward, where the mark is taken for St Kilda by Rice.
And we might say welcome to viewers. Unfortunately, again, this game has started early, and as Greg Burns took the mark, was about to play on, but unfortunately for us, the umpires, it's no fault of the umpires. The players are in game, sides are all frightened of getting fined these days, and they are starting early, so our apologies.
Centre wing as the Swans through Coleman, and away they come through Murphy. Great to see him back at the side. Merv Neagle tried to crash his way through, but he was caught, and grabbing it was young Tony Evans. A good tackle. Tony Evans, we're talking to Kenny Sheldon at the Melbourne airport. He said this guy's got a ton of pace, so we'll look for that today as the kick comes up towards half forward, over the back of the pack. Good play by Thripp as he gets it wide. That was to Henwood. Henwood to Bays. Centre wing, Mark Bays. Young, only 20 years of age, still Mark Bays, a very promising player. There's Ricky Nixon, the former Carlton player. A clever hand pass. Oh, copping one right across the head was Jamie Lamb. Now, did the umpire see it? Now, Lamb copped it right across the neck. Yes, he did see Peter Howe, and away he goes with the kick. Lamb up towards half forward, but a good mark to Neil Cordy at half back.
Neil Cordy, an excellent mark, as Tommy Hafey has a close look at the situation. The hand pass goes across to Dennis Carroll. Carroll goes long. A lovely kick. He's looking for Tony Morwood. Punched away by Whitty. Hand passed over the top from Carter. Finds Murphy. Murphy now goes for the long kick. It's Kappa against Frawley. Kappa up! That's a great mark to Warwick Kappa. He had the run on Frawley, and Kappa, an excellent mark.
Here we see
replay,
replay a great mark from Kappa, and also great play from David Murphy, who has certainly been missed by the Swans over the last couple of weeks.
The long kick, Bobby, made an enormous difference there, and they should do that all the time with a bloke who can mark like Kappa. There's the kick. What a great start by the full forward. Warwick Kappa, 2 goals in a couple of minutes.
It's Warwick Kappa that's going to kick the 6, is it?
There's David Murphy with that long driving drop punt down to the goal square, allowing Warwick Kappa to set himself for that great mark over Danny Frawley. That was a classic mark.
If you're wondering what we're talking about, Barry, Bob and I've got a little side wager.
You're not allowed to mention it.
We're allowed to mention it, the fact that down the other end, Lockett, I don't think Lockett can kick 6 on Rod Carter. We'll see as the game progresses. We see Alistair Ford putting it to the ground. Carter is a miserly fullback down the other end, but what a great start by Kappa. And as I said, Frawley won't like that. That's 60 goals for the year to Warwick Kappa, 59 to Tony Lockett, so Kappa's in front. Now there's Grant. He gets it out wide. Oh, gee, fumbling the ball there was Nathan Burke, and the Swans take it away. Murphy, it hasn't taken him long to get back into the action. Brilliant play. Hand pass to Hawke. Oh, too high. But advantage paid as he gets it wide to Healy. Healy on half forward, kicks it high. Where's Kappa? He's behind on that occasion. Whitty, a hurry kick off the ground, straight to McConville. It's been a tremendous start this by the Swans. McConville, centre wing, hand pass, that was by Burke. still towards the centre wing area. The hand pass shuffled out to Coleman, and Coleman brings it down. Capper from behind, couldn't take this one. Frawley is there. Good play, Alistair Ford, as he knocks it away. A hand pass wide, looking for Evans. Evans grabbed when he didn't have it. Bays cleverly on the right foot, back to half forward. Up they go. Whitty was the flyer. Couldn't take it. That's a free kick for in the back. No, said the umpire. Play on as Neagle went in after it. There's Nixon giving it out to Burns, and Burns will grab this one on half-back flank.
Hand pass from Burns. Across now to Alistair Ford, who steadies onto the left foot. Carroll's there to take the mark. Plays on immediately. Drives it long towards half forward. Michael Byrne was there. Couldn't take it, though. It's picked up by Whitty. Whitty drives the ball back towards centre wing, and free must go to Carroll. Pushed in the back by Rod Owen, and the Swan skipper will send the ball back towards the forward area once again. Carroll favouring the drop punt towards half forward. Morwood at the back, couldn't quite take the mark. Ford comes in from behind. The hand pass over the top. Called play on. It was a free kick, would have been paid to St Kilda, but the advantage rule sees Nixon coming away. Drives it up towards centre wing, but once again, Dennis Carroll in the way. Hand pass to the middle to Healy. Healy swings the ball up towards half forward. It's all St Kilda, though, and it's punched away by Potter. Excellent play by Potter. Michael Byrne's there, and a bounce will take place. Michael Byrne, recruited from Sydney originally, played with North Shore up here, then went down to the Melbourne Football Club, was put in a cab one night and found himself at Hawthorn, and it was the best thing that Melbourne ever did for Michael Byrne. Played in a premiership side for Hawthorn, that time got the tap away. Coleman takes the kick, drives it forward, Morwood in position, can't take the mark, it comes past Frawley, gets a push in the back from Capper, and he will take the free kick.
Yes, and as I said, he'll be nice and dirty. 2 goals early to Capper. Frawley, a terrific competitor, gets it across to McConville. McConville wide, David Murphy's the centre of the pack. Greg Williams brilliantly across to Neagle. Neagle wide, and this is Craig Holden from the 50-metre line having a shot for goal. Just offline. Beautiful football by the Swans, just offline. 1 point. Sydney Swans 2-1. St Kilda yet to score as we see Frawley about to come straight up the centre of the ground. Greg Burns in front, couldn't take the mark. Crashing his way through was Coughlin. Further afield it comes, the long kick was down by Evans. Evans harder against Lockett. That is going to be a terrific contest. That is Holden cleverly under his legs, grabbed by Owen. Owen on the left foot, a high one towards full forward. Lockett in front of the pack, almost a mark. No, said the umpire, right in front of the St Kilda goal. Lowe was in there and Lockett, and umpire Peter Cameron will bounce it.
Lowe almost took that one, Barry.
I thought he nearly had it too, Bob. I nearly would have paid that one, but that's an unbiased view.
Umpires are Peter Howell and Peter Cameron. Peter Howe it is, not Howell.
H-O-W-E.
Lockett got into the back of his opponent and comes across the Lowe, puts it through, full point for St Kilda.
That's almost justice there for St Kilda. Lowe nearly taking that mark in the goal square a moment ago, and a good piece of play in the pack there. Saw the ball come out to Lowe, and he kicked an easy goal. Here again we see the piece of play on replay, tackled by Sheldon Cordy, and then Lockett pushing a player off the ball, and it's not clear out to Lowe, and the easiest of goals.
Well, that's exactly what they wanted, St Kilda, with a great start by the Swans. 2 goals won, the Sydney Swans, to St Kilda 1 goal, and a great start by the Swans, and that's, as I said, St Kilda had to reply quickly because Swans have a habit of putting goals together very, very quickly on this ground, and they can get that run on. As we see, the season's handballs average well in favour of Sydney over St Kilda, and they are a great running side. There's Coughlin. He really is an impressive player, young Frank Coughlin. To McConville, wide to Owen. I'm looking forward to that clash. Owen against, they went very wide, probably too wide on that occasion. But this ground, you must go for home. That was Neagle. Further afield it comes. Now here's Healy, the brilliant Healy. Under pressure, he still gets his boot the ball to half forward. Bays waited for that one instead of attacking the ball. Capper couldn't get his boot to it. Nixon dispossessed of it. Half forward flank it is for the Swans. Capper's in there, and the umpire said it was thrown out by the St Kilda player, and it'll be a free kick to Terry Thripp at the 55-metre mark. Now, let's see where Capper is. He's ducking back to go for this mark. He's got a chance too. And Morwood, yes, no, he couldn't quite take it. The umpire calls play on, and rightly so. A hand pass by Michael Byrne. Back it comes. The Saints try and get it out of defence. Ricky Nixon across to McConville, and well done, the Saints, as wide it comes. Stuart Lowe leading out in front of Henwood. Murphy was there, shuffles it away. Back comes the hand pass to Henwood. Good backing up by the big bloke, and he goes high. Kappa at the back. Oh, chance for coming through is Dean Rice. Good backing up, and he puts it away to the half-back flank and over the line.
Too high there for McConville, as Darryl Baldock has a quick look at things, and one of the best footballers I have personally ever seen.
And a good bloke.
A magnificent guy, and probably a better guy than he was a footballer, and that's giving him the greatest rap I can give anybody. Toohey gives the ball across to Henwood, taken by Coleman. Back to Toohey again. Toohey gives the hand pass now to Holden. Holden over the top, gets it back. It was almost smothered, and so the kick goes forward from Holden. Morwood's there at the back. Kappa, and he snapped towards goal. Hit the post.
Well, that was very, very intelligent play by Kappa, Barry.
That was great play, Pete. It's almost Kappa's birthday, it must be today. He's had everything running for him at the moment, but that was most unlucky not to go through for a goal.
From the kick out, Neil did well. Back, showed a lot of courage. So the former Geelong and Wynyard of Tasmania boy, Robert Scratcher Neil. And well, that was an excellent mark. Oh, yeah. No need to worry about whether it was a free kick or whatever. And it's not unusual to see Greg Burns backing back. The marks average for the season, well in favour of St Kilda.
Interesting, the opposite, that is, to the handball situation.
The mark taken by Greg Williams. Quick hand pass. Hawke gives it on straight away. Healy. Murphy. Caught one too high. Tackles coming from everywhere.
Oh, gee, they're going to earn their kicks today, some of those Swans players. We see David Murphy.
On replay there, 1 to David Murphy.
I think the best part about the whole thing would be the way Murphy has approached it, because he doesn't look as though he's carrying an injury.
No, and terrific to see him back, because probably the most improved player in the league is Murphy. Peter McConville, what a great player he's been for the Saints after coming across from Carlton. And of course, a lot of Carlton supporters were surprised at that move. Rod Owen's got a ton of natural skill. He gets it further afield towards Kane Taylor. Taylor a high one to half forward. Grant back, couldn't take it. Cordy, a very underrated player. Neil Cordy has got a lot of ability. There is Grant charging it again. Cordy also in after it, and it goes over the line. And the pressures of coaching. Well, there's Alan Davis too on right of screen next to Darryl Baldock, and he was a tremendous player, Alan Davis. Not a big man, have played with Barry a number of years.
Number of years, Pete.
And a good player. Scratcher Neil, formerly of Geelong, a short pass. They were looking down for Lockett, but he wasn't there to accommodate. That comes across to Fripp. This is good play. Henwood, he's been impressive in this first quarter. And he goes long to Kappa. Kappa in front, good play. Dispossessed of the ball. Coming through is Dean Rice. Hooks it back, but there's no one there for the Saints, and Bernard Toohey takes an easy mark. Dummies the handball. Goes for home. Ballward at the back. Couldn't take it. Good play, McConville. The hand pass wide to Nixon. 2 former Carlton players. Further afield it goes. That was a very poor kick. It was in. The intention was to give it to Kane Taylor, but McConville put it out of bounds on the full.
So from the resultant free kick, it'll be taken out there by David Murphy. Murphy puts it forward. Morwood into the back of Alistair Ford, and trying to come away there is Whitty, but the umpire had called a halt to proceedings, and that's the way I believe it should be. If the umpire has stopped play, no advantage rule. Ford puts the ball forward. Burns once again takes the mark. So it's Greg Burns. Goes short, out wide, a well-placed kick, and we find the kick out there by Burke. St Kilda going towards half forward. Henwood punches the ball away. Coughlin couldn't quite take it. The quick hand pass came from Greg Williams. I think Coughlin's got the job of tagging Greg Williams. As we see Paul Hawke pick it up. Well smothered that time by Burke. And coming in there, coming up with the ball is young Burke. Coughlin, number 39.
Well, St Kilda putting an enormous amount of pressure on, as we see the season's kicks average, 196. That's surprising. in favour of St Kilda. Looking at the relative positions on the ladder, there's Henwood, who's looked very, very good in this first quarter, ducking back to take the mark. Off he goes, hand pass to Holden. They really have got a good running game, the Swans, to Neagle. Caught. Oh, good play that was, of course, from Tony Evans, number 44. Lockett a long way out from goal. A brilliant hand pass to Burns. Probably too far out there, land this up there, but there's no one there because Lockett was up round half-court and Henwood ducks back to take another safe mark.
Henwood playing a superb game in this first quarter. Bayes up in the middle. That was an excellent mark. So it doesn't look as though he's worrying about the finger as Bayes puts a beautiful kick forward. Off the hands of the pack. Byrne gets it forward. Tapped back by Coughlin. Well tapped over there by Neal. Neal with a quick hand pass towards Kane Taylor. Coming through the centre. Taylor puts it wide. Sheldon out in front. Takes a nice mark. So Ken Sheldon, 40 metres out from goal. 27 years of age. Played 132 games with Carlton. And adding a little bit of experience to the St Kilda side. Quite confident of making the distance, as well he should be. He'll be kicking from about 40 metres out. The kick from Ken Sheldon, too close to the man on the mark. It's taken by Coleman. Called play on by the umpire. I think it was touched off the boot.
Must have
the
been.
man on the mark.
That's the only
I don't think
decision
Glenn Coleman realised, and it's rushed through for 1 point to the Saints. So it's 2-2-14 to 1-1-7.
Well, the Swans are going to cop it pretty hard today. There's John Peter Budge on interchange. Carter. Already Lockett's coming a long way out from goal on Carter because he's putting him under a lot of pressure, but that was a good mark. Neagles looked quite impressive early in this game. Looks really fired up, and he is a very good player. Morwood in the front of the pack, but over the back is Ricky Nixon. No, it's not. It's David Whitty to take a very, very nice mark. He's taller than you think, David Whitty. He'd be about 6'2" as he brings it up towards half-court. Good play, Henwood. Terrific play to Hawke, to Williams. Williams a handball back to Hawke. They've got the loose man out wide in Gerard Healy. The ball over his head. McConville. Boy, he's a goer. Peter McConville. Michael Byrne will really be out to impress today. And let's hope he can resurrect his career with the Swans. It's a free kick. And it looks like a Whitty. It is Whitty to Alistair Ford. Ford with a hand pass. Ricky Nixon from the centre of the ground. Brings it wide. Stuart Lowe's got his name written all over that. Should have marked it. It comes loose to Coleman. Lowe and Coleman both booted the ball, but it's kicked away by Coleman to half-back flank and over the line.
So the throw-in to take place. Half-forward flank for St Kilda. As we see the tap by Stuart Lowe. Henwood once again doing well. A nice hand pass across to Hawke. Hawke having plenty of time to steady. Didn't look a good kick off the boot. It runs past players as Nixon's there. Almost kicked off the ground by Williams. The ball very close to the boundary line. Williams still trying to keep the ball in play. Bayes gets a hand pass forward. Michael Byrne and Alistair Ford. Ford gets the ball forward to McConville. McConville with a hand pass to Rice. Over the top it comes now, and Whitty takes the ball for St Kilda. David Whitty now with a long kick towards half forward. Henwood up in the middle, but it's a good mark. Now a push in the back has been paid, and I think Glenn Coleman will come out with the free kick.
Well, Bobby, we saw John Ironmonger. In fact,
no, it's Henwood.
He's having a great day, but we saw Ironmonger in the reserve, so they must think a lot of Coleman if Ironmonger can't slot his way straight back into that senior side. There's the kick from Henwood to half forward. Morwood's flying a heck of a lot from behind today, and I think he's been getting into that habit a bit lately, Barry.
Yeah, well, it's just a confidence thing, I think, Pete, and he's just got to put his body in front and take some of those marks and just get himself in that play more often than he is at the moment.
Peter Cameron bounces the ball. It's on centre wing, and Hawke beautifully across to Thripp. Thripp sets it up now. Frawley and Kappa. Kappa from behind, off his hands and through for a behind. A lot of pressure in this game at the moment after a great start by the Swans. Swans have moved on to 2-3, and St Kilda remain on 1-1.
So Frawley to put the ball back into play. It's a nice kick from Frawley to the outer side of the ground, but David Murphy takes it. Plays on immediately, goes towards goal. It's a lovely kick from Murphy. That's a great goal.
That was a fantastic goal from David Murphy. Bad piece of defensive play by St Kilda all the same to allow David Murphy, a wingman, virtually to take the mark uncontested there on the 50-metre line as we see here on replay. And even then he's allowed to take clear without any pressure on him at all. And that was a great kick for goal.
It was actually a pretty ordinary kick out by Danny Frawley too, who missed his intended target. 3-3 the Swans, 1-1 the Saints, but here they come through. Frankie Coughlin, a real goer. Oh, here's a chance for Lockett. The Carter G plays close. Rod Owen. Oh, good play. Looking for Lockett. In goes Tony Lockett. Bundled out of the way. Rod Carter, too slow to get rid of it. Here's Lockett, drops the ball. Play on, said the umpires. It's brought by Bernard Toohey out towards centre wing. Burns, lovely hand pass to Evans. Evans, he really has got a ton of speed, but that was a poor kick as he kicks it straight down the ground to Neil Cordy. Cordy wide. Tony Morwood is there. Oh, protected himself beautifully, Tony Morwood. Any young kids watching, that's the way to do it.
Surely.
It could have been a free kick too, Bob, but it was tremendous way he dipped the shoulder, Barry, and he could have been really unloaded then.
Burnsy was certainly looking for him, I think.
We see Hawke across to Bays. Bays swinging onto that left foot. Kicks it. Oh, Capper at the back off. Frawley, good play. Nearly a mark. And the umpire not playing it, and in comes umpire Peter Howe to bounce it in front of the Swans' goal.
An excellent duel so far between those two players. Byrne from behind, taps it over the back at the first player on the scene. And we find it driven forward that time by Taylor. Taken and driven forward again by Lamb over the back. It's all Swans at the moment as Carroll leads in the race for the ball. Dennis Carroll puts a long kick back. Rice is there, couldn't quite take the mark. He gets good support from McConville. McConville's kick was touched off the boot. Picked up there by Neil. Neil can't get the ball clear. And a bounce will take place.
That was good umpiring by Peter Howe. He had a good view of it, and that was tremendous. Some umpires would have been tempted to throw in a charity free there.
Swans leading by 14 points as Burke gets the ball out of the centre. It's taken by Thrip of the Swans. He has time to steady, puts it out in front. Capper coming out. Oh, lovely mark to Capper. He was under pressure, but that was a good mark, Barry.
That was a great mark, Bob, and that was a classic lead by a full forward. He was under all sorts of pressure there from Danny Frawley, Capper, but that was just a really strong mark. Also a great pass from Terry Thrip, who, if you'll notice, very rarely wastes the ball.
An excellent mark by Warwick Capper. He has kicked 2 goals so far. The 2 leading goal kickers in the VFL playing here today. Warwick Capper with 59, Tony Lockett with 58. Well, actually, Warwick Capper now has 60. In fact, it's 61 now with 3 goals so far.
Tremendous play by Capper, and that's the part of his game that really has improved, Barry, the fact that he is prepared to lead, not just fly all the time.
That's what I think. He's got to put himself in that situation just from a percentage point of view, and that was a great mark, and I'm getting more and more impressed with Capper each week.
And so we see a rundown on Warwick Capper, only 67 games and career goals 230. Well, he's going to kick many more than that. Centre wing. And, well, the Saints have to reply pretty quickly, and Henwood's playing a terrific game at centre-half back. Out to Greg Williams. Williams dives on it. Not all that quick, but geez, effective. Murphy's having a magnificent day. A hand pass to Healy. Now here's Capper again, and Frawley. Capper! And is it a free? The umpire's giving it to him. I don't know about that. I thought that was a damn good contest, but maybe he was in his back and over his shoulder. I'd love to see that one again because he's played it anyway right in front, and what a terrific performance. Let's look at this in replay, Barry.
Again, just what we were talking about a moment ago, Pete. He's just got his body in front, and Danny Frawley literally has to lean all over him to get past him. Puts himself in the right position. He's got to get the kick.
There's the kick from Capper, and what a brilliant performance. 4 goals in the first quarter, and Danny Frawley would be a worried man.
I certainly would be if I was Danny Frawley, but let's have a look at it again. It really was probably a little bit unlucky on Frawley's part of having a look at this, but I think there was a free kick there. We saw his hand over Capper's shoulder. He was pretty desperate to get it away.
I think the actual free kick was well before the ball got there. 5-3, 33 to 117. As Ford gets a tap. Greg Williams, a hand pass to Potter. Potter floats the ball forward. And, good mark to Tony Morwood. I think good play by Paul Hawke there. Morwood had no chance of seeing what was coming, and Paul Hawke got out of the way and I think called to Tony Morwood that it was his mark. Now Morwood will kick from about 45 metres out, directly in front. No worries about the distance. Accuracy is astray, 1 point to Tony Morwood.
Well, that's unlike Tony Morwood. He's a very, very good kick for goal normally. Danny Frawley, enormous pressure now on Danny Frawley. He'd have 4 goals kicked on you so early in the game. And your side down, well, it's hard. Oh, look at the hand pass. That was by Williams to Morwood, grabbed by Coughlin. Frank Coughlin gets his boot the ball. A free kick now. It'll have to come back. That's not up the field. It'll have to come back to Frank Coughlin in the back pocket. This player came from the Ballarat region and as a real goer. Frank Coughlin, a little gutsy player, but they need more than that today against this skillful Swan side who look very, very dangerous.
Greg Healy, Gerard Healy, I should say, playing an excellent game so far. Big pack of players up. Michael Byrne with a hand pass. Bays is there. Bays is held. Call play on by the umpire. It should have been a free kick to Bays, but the loose ball comes out, picked up there and driven forward by Morwood. From the centre. 6 goals for 40 points. 117.
St Kilda now in real trouble in this first quarter. The damage there was done when 3 St Kilda defenders flew for the ball. Bays was caught, and again, they just couldn't recover from that earlier mistake. McConville handballing the ball out just to nowhere, and Morwood picked up that loose ball. But 3 St Kilda players flew and just spoiled each other.
Very good hand pass by Michael Byrne.
He's done a couple of those, Bob, and he's being a little bit of value down there.
From the centre bounce, Greg Burns. Gerard. Well, I really messed that one up because it was Greg Williams, and Greg Burns was coming across anticipating the hand pass from Williams, but it didn't quite come off. And so from the throw-in, Burns, Michael Byrne that was, got it through to Williams. McConville drives the ball back towards half forward. Coleman's from behind, gets it down. Carroll, a hand pass out to Healy. Healy puts the ball on, but wasn't able to be taken by Tui. Now Carroll lends support, and Healy, a quick hand pass to Potter. Potter puts the ball out wide where David Murphy has time to steady, put it towards centre half forward. Bays is up, couldn't take it one hand. Whitty comes through with the ball. A quick hand pass from Whitty. Tony Morwood's first on the scene, can't take possession. Hawke is also there. The loose ball tapped out. Greg Williams trying to put it back. Umpire Cameron comes on the scene and he'll bounce it 50 metres out.
Bobby, I think they've got to bring Lockett out to centre forward, whether they like it or not.
He's not getting down a full
well,
forward.
That's what I mean. They've got to bring Lockett out. Lower's getting well beaten by Henwood. They just can't get it down to him, so they've got no alternative but to bring him out, as we see Whitty with a hurry kick to half forward. That half back line, and Coleman's hanging back there too to make it hard for the St Kilda half forwards. He's playing well, Glenn Coleman, as he brings it down to half forward. Bays in the centre of the pack. Oh, gee, there's Bays across the threat. He straightens up, kicks into the man coming towards him. That's Whitty. He has the ball smothered. In they go. Rice, a hand pass further afield towards his teammate and Jamie Lamb, who kicks it wide. Oh, 2 Swans. Oh, gee, they nearly lost it again. Nathan Burke was there from the Saints, but that was dangerous play, Barry.
Yes, that just was a poorly directed kick again, Pete. And Nathan Burke against those 2 Swans players didn't have much chance, but he fought very well for the ball.
Well, there's the siren to end the first quarter, with umpire Peter Cameron's hands up in the air. A brilliant quarter by the Sydney Swans. They lead 6 goals for 40 to St Kilda, 1 goal, 1, a total of 7.
3 points to 7 as this second quarter commences at the Sydney Cricket Ground. No clear tap. Kane Taylor was there, tapped the ball on. Coleman tried to kick the ball off the ground, so too did Burns, but it went straight to Paul Hawke, who drives the ball out towards the half-forward line, and Tony Morwood takes the mark. Morwood, a little bit further out than half-forward, drives the ball forward, looking there for Warwick Kappa, who punches the ball away. McConville's there, runs straight into Michael Byrne, but no chance of getting rid of it, so a bounce must take place.
Yes, good umpiring by Peter Cameron, and there's the Doc, one of the greatest players ever in the history of the VFL. Forward pocket for the Swans. The ball is shuffled out to Coughlin. I said earlier what a goer he is. You watch him during the day, he just keeps battling away, and that was an indication of how keen he is. As we see, Scratcher Neil kicks it straight from the man coming towards him. Neil caught he was grabbed when he didn't have it, but must have been over the line. And there's Neil, and will be a handy player for the Swans. You can play him in a number of positions, forward or back. Centre wing, big fist away, back it comes to half-back Evans. Cleverly picked up, beautiful ball. Very high one towards half-forward. Dennis Carroll comes from the side, flies and punches it away. Glenn Coleman can't punch it. Beautiful hand pass to Hawke. That was from Williams. Back it comes to centre wing and Neagle. Neagle a high one to Greg Williams. Good play, Coghlan. Geez, a little goer. Good play as he gets it to McConville, who runs into all sorts of trouble and loses it. Play on, said the umpire. Whitty, the forward. Back it comes to half-forward to Byrne. Now it's Bays. Bays tries to shuffle it out. It's kicked away from half-back by Kane Taylor, and the mark has been taken by Craig Holden.
Holden plays on immediately, drives the ball out wide towards half-forward. Kane Taylor in front, punched away by Tony Maud, picked up by Terry Tripp. Tripp just took a little bit too long to get rid of it. It's picked up by Michael Byrne. The hand pass to Williams. Over the top it comes to Hawke. Hawke straightens up, well smothered that time by Whitty. Byrne taps the ball on. It couldn't be taken. It was lost that time as Ford puts the ball out. McConville takes the mark, and St Kilda relieve the pressure temporarily as McConville goes short. Finds out there Rice. Rice plays on, well tackled by Murphy. Rice puts his teammate under pressure. And umpire Peter Cameron giving them the benefit of the doubt. Tommy Hafey having a word on the phone, and Evans under a lot of pressure as Tommy Hafey speaks down there to Craig Davis. And we'll have a good duel out here today. The slowest two runners in the league, Craig Davis and Kevin Roberts, as Nathan Burke puts the ball forward, punched away by Coleman. Too high for Toohey. The loose ball well swooped on there by Healy. Could have been in the back, but the umpire gives Nathan Burke the benefit of the doubt, and umpire Peter Howe comes in to bounce the ball on centre wing.
Well, that was very consistent umpiring by both umpires there. Both players had no chance of getting rid of it, and good umpiring. As we see on the left is Neil Cordy. Good mark. He's a great overhead mark. Peter McConville gives away inches every week to opponents, but terrific overhead mark as he brings it towards half-forward. Cordy up in front, and he also is strong overhead. A hand pass. Neagle. He's trying to do a little bit too much, Merv Neagle. Ran a long way too. A hand pass to the centre of the ground to Dennis Carroll. Carroll, what a beautiful left foot kick to Bays. Good use of the body. McConville read that beautifully. They were across to Burns, and Burns from half back wide. Owen, 7 goals last week. Rod Owen against Carlton was a magnificent individual effort to half forward low. Gee, caught behind, and what a good mark chipping across in front, and that was by Bernard Toohey.
Toohey with a hand pass immediately to Carroll. And Carroll once again puts the ball long. Punched away by the Saint defence, but first on the ball is Healy. A quick hand pass finds Coleman. Coleman, an awkward-looking kick, really floating the ball forward. No one can take the mark. Burns, his hand pass smothered. Nixon comes in for St Kilda. A nice hand pass across to Coghlan. Coghlan drives the ball towards half-forward. Cordy from behind, thumps the ball down. Toohey taps it on. Good play by Toohey. Coleman got a hand pass in, but it goes straight to the opposition. Neil puts the ball out in front of Lowe. Lowe traps the ball well, gets it nicely on the half volley, but loses it. A poor hand pass from Lowe, and Dennis Carroll once again drives it up towards centre half forward. Bays up high, couldn't take the mark. Tony Morwood in, trying to get the hand pass up there. It's a pushing it back to Tony Morwood. A poor tackle from behind that time, and so David Whitty penalised. Tony Morwood with the free kick.
Well, he is definitely worrying David Whitty. He just covers so much territory. The lead was made, but it's fisted away. And, gee, it comes straight to Hawke. Paul Hawke into the open goal for a goal, and that was bad play. Well, it was bad luck for young Dave Taylor.
It wasn't probably me, but I think he should have tried to grab the ball instead of thumping it clear. And that really was a comedy of errors which started up across the St Kilda half-forward line. And just as indicative at the moment of how they're playing, they're just lacking a little bit of confidence at the present time. Now, that should have been marked, I'm sure, that ball, and a little bit unfortunate that it ran to Paul Hawke, and again, just the easiest of goals for the Swans.
Well, possibly a lack of talking by Kane Taylor's teammates there to tell him that he was completely clear and on his own. It's up to other players to call as Ford gets a tap. Greg Williams couldn't quite take possession. Neagle got the tap out now, and it's picked up by Potter, who gives it to Williams. Swings it round towards half forward. Hawke from behind up high. Couldn't quite take the mark. Bayes is in underneath. Cops one too high, and Mark Bayes will come out with the free kick. So Bayes, well, if he went for goal, he would be a chance of scoring from there.
His 50th game. He is a magnificent kick, and some very indiscriminate tackling by the Saints at the moment. They're just jumping into the back of opponents. Now let's see from the 55-metre line. Oh, look at that long driving kick. Won't quite make it over the back and through for a point.
20 years of age and 50 games of league football.
Not a bad effort.
Not a bad effort at all.
Well, he was a champion schoolboy player. 7-5 to 1-1 Frawley, with a lot of worries on his mind. Being captain, worried about the team's performance, and of course Kappa's kicked 4 goals on him. Robert Neal, good play by the scratcher as he gets it out. And that's why he's nicknamed Scratcher. He's always on the ground, putting in 100% effort. Healy, tremendous skills, Gerard Healy, and that emphasises how well he can play. Coleman having a very good day. To half forward where a nice mark has been taken by Nixon. Off he goes looking for Burns. Burns is wide. They've gone very wide again, and well, I don't know whether that's the way to play this ground. It comes off to Owen. Owen's on the wing. He should get on with kicking the ball. Off he goes. Play on, said the umpire. Oh, that is a shocker. Why would they go for a torpedo punt? Lockett has it fisted away. Peter Budge is there to Neal. They should be kicking long drop punts down towards Lockett. A hurried kick. Lockett's been moved to full forward, I feel, as we look at it. Coleman, wide. Tui. Oh, they're playing well. Holden, centre wing. Back it comes to Potter. He doesn't mess around. He kicks it off the ground wide to Bayes, who marks on half forward.
A lovely mark by Bayes, and he did show with that mark that he's not too worried about that dislocated finger. Bayes goes long and high. Kappa up high at the back. Tony Mord with a chance. He'll swing onto the left foot. Now he comes back onto the right. Gets past the tackle. Steadies. Hooks it back towards goal. Too high for Alistair Ford. Tony Mord a goal. 2 goals to Tony Mord, Barry.
2 goals, playing quite well too, Bob. But that was again an easy goal from Morwood. Here we see on replay it runs out the back of the pack after Kappa missed the ball. Morwood evading Whitty and Danny Frawley and snaps for goal.
Well, Barry, I don't know about you, but I'd definitely move David Whitty at this stage, because Morwood is really covering so much territory. He's got him under enormous pressure.
I'd probably put rookie Nixon.
8-5 to 1-1. And here come the Swans again. McConville's trying valiantly across that half back line. He's under enormous pressure. Wide. Now, no mark. Yes, it is to Nathan Burke. The advantage paid as Robert Neal looks for Lockett. Lockett caught behind. Almost took it. Grabbed by Kenny Sheldon. A quick snap, and he's put it through. And they needed that one.
Well, that was a far better piece of play by St Kilda then, just showing what effect directness can have in this game. It was marked there by Nathan Burke. The advantage rule was played, and a good kick down into the goal square. And what we saw there was Kenny Sheldon roving cleverly and snapped a good goal. Should be more of that direct play.
So St Kilda going about a long way. Thrown up by umpire Peter Cameron. Punched away by Ford. Greg Williams drives the ball towards half forward. Tony Mord in the front. Another mark to Morwood. Called play on by the umpire. Potter cops one too high. Try to get it forward. Morwood does well to dive on it and retain the ball in the forward line. So a bounce up will take place with Ron Thomas, Tom Hafey and John Reid all having a close look at the situation. Tom Hafey getting ready to talk to his runner Craig Davis. Byrne wins the tap. Taken by Taylor. Taylor gets it out to Nixon. Nixon, a quick hand pass, finds McConville. He puts it on out towards Robert Neal. Neal hooks the ball over the shoulder, but it's straight to the opposition. Potter coming through, couldn't take it on the half volley. Tried to tap the ball in, hit the fence. You would have heard that yourself. But Craig Potter gets straight up and gets on with the business. And a real up-and-comer, Craig Potter.
I know.
Very impressive young player.
Well, they've got a very high opinion of him, Bob, because they love his desperation.
Sheldon puts the ball forward for St Kilda. Over the boundary line it runs, so a throw-in to take place. Half forward flank for St Kilda, with St Kilda on 2 goals, 13 points. Swans 8-5-53, 10.5 minutes into the quarter.
Half forward flank for the Saints. A couple of quick goals, and they give them a lot of heart, and they'd be back into the tackle was on Owen. A very experienced umpire, Peter Cameron. Side on view of that one. And again, he deliberates that Rod Owen had no chance of getting rid of it. Throws the ball up, which is surprising. I thought the ground was good enough there to bounce it, but still, he knows better than me. As we see Coughlin, Lockett, no mark, and rightly so. He didn't quite hold it. Play on, said the umpire. Carter and Lockett, that's going to be a terrific duel. Again, that was held to the player on the ground, Craig Holden, and eventually it was forced over the line deep in that forward pocket. Now, the scoreboard shows 8-5, Sydney, St Kilda 2-1, as we see. Oh, the big fist away was by Henwood, and he's got a terrific capacity to punch it a long way. Good hip and shoulder, that one by Scratch and Hill, but again it's over the line, this time at about the 50-metre mark on the Saints forward line.
And from the throw-in, low competing, up high came Cordy. Greg Williams kicks the ball off the ground. It's all St Kilda as Robert Neal's first on the scene. Thought about the hand pass. Now floats the ball in towards half forward, but Henwood's there in the way and takes the timely mark. St Kilda forward line all astray so far as Holden puts the ball forward and the mark taken there by Bernard Toohey. Now Toohey was thinking about putting it on, so Jamie Lamb putting it on with a hand pass, that's what that was, so Jamie Lamb made sure he couldn't get the ball moving. Toohey favouring the jock punt, puts it long, Byrne up from behind, brings it down, and so we'll see the ball floating towards the boundary line, picked up and driven forward by Thripp. Coughlin coming across, taps the ball away from Hawke, beautifully intercepted by Neagle. Hawke taps the ball on, Greg Williams is there for the Swans, floats the ball towards goal. It's a lovely kick from Williams. One goal, Greg Williams. An excellent goal by Greg Williams, Barry.
Great goal for Greg Williams, Bob. A little bit fortunate the ball came out to him. There was a good piece of play by Hawke, I think it was. Yes, it was Paul Hawke who thumped the ball to Williams, and that was a good goal under a little bit of pressure from St Kilda's defenders. Very intelligent piece of play there from Paul Hawke on replay, I thought. Already Paul Hawke doing quite well. And a lot of people surprised that Paul Hawke was ever out of the side. From a free kick in the centre, Alistair Ford puts the ball forward, and the free kick goes to Neil Cordy, who's playing an excellent game, Pete.
Oh, Neil Cordy, a very underrated player, and, well, I've never really thought he got a great go at Footscray. As we see Dennis Carroll, look at that kick, a 65-metre drop punt, and very direct, as Barry was saying earlier, that you must kick directly. That was Peter Budge, a high one, towards Henwood. Good Henwood. They've got big troubles at centre-half forward. They've got Rod Owen there now on Henwood, and Henwood has dominated at centre-half back. The long kick, looking for Michael Byrne. Over the back was David Whittier. Nice mark. Off he goes. Now that's the way to play it. Straight down the ground. Rod Owen should mark this, and look at the difference when you are direct at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Owen's able to duck back to take it. Now let's watch Lockett. He's down at full forward against Carter. He's trying to get the front position now. 2-on-1, a beautiful kick. Just offline. Torpedo punch, travelled about 60 metres and through for a point. So the Saints struggling forward, 2-2-14. St Kilda, Sydney, 9-5-59 as we see the ever-reliable. We say it every week, 235 league games. He hasn't played too many bad ones either. Towards the centre of the ground, the big fist was by Peter Budge. Waiting there is Bernard Toohey. Hooks it back, wide. A chance for the mark on centre wing, and he has taken to the Saints with Jamie Lamb.
Lamb directs the ball towards half forward. It's 4-1 down there. Lockett giving away a free kick. Carter using his body magnificently. That was beautiful play by Rod Carter, and he was in front. He really showed Tony Lockett where you should be. And Lockett not having the ball forwarded to him well, but he's not moving around a lot either, Pete.
No, and a very difficult opponent. The only way to beat Carter, you can't hang back and go for marks. You've got to run around and lead. That's terrific play. Williams across to Henwood. Oh, over the back forward. Geez, a lurker. He lurks around those packs. He's so dangerous as we see Holden trying to hook it back. Desperation. Great mark on the boundary line. 40 metres out. That was terrific play.
Good play by Tony Moore and Craig Holden. They combined perfectly to give the ball to Craig Potter. And Potter just inside the boundary line, 35 to 40 metres out from goal. Craig Potter goes goalward, across the face of goal, pack up, no mark taken. The hand pass comes out, and nobody with any opportunity there. And the tall frame of Michael Byrne, who will compete in this tap out. He'll compete against Alistair Ford. Ford wins the tap, gets it to Sheldon. Sheldon with a hand pass out wide. And eventually McConville got the ball to Nixon. Nixon drives the ball up towards centre wing. Grant at the back takes it, plays on immediately. David Grant puts it out in front of Owen. Owen, a good attempt to take the mark, recovers well on the half volley, straightens up towards goal. A lovely kick from Owen, but again he's offline. And unfortunately, he may have kicked 7 goals last week, but he's got 2 behinds on the board so far today.
Well, he did show enormous skill all the same on that occasion, and he was under a lot of pressure. Henwood from full back. Oh, beautiful little chip pass out. Well, let's see where Dennis Carroll goes. He'll go up the middle, no doubt about that. And unfortunately for him, the only man there to take the mark is David Whitty. Whitty onto the left, fighting back, fighting hard in this quarter. David Whitty to Lowe. Lowe tries to fist it away. Carter. Oh, geez, a reliable player. He's on the bottom of the packers. In they go. Take it away. Dennis Carroll's having a terrific day. Again, the long kick, a 60-metre drop punt wide to Byrne. Byrne gets it to ground. Frank Coughlin was there for the Saints, but he stands aside and just lets his opponent McConville come in and stop.
Barry, that's exactly what Byrne's got to do at centre-half forward. Compete, compete, compete. And if he doesn't take it, it comes to the ground.
Doesn't matter as long as he's having a go at that ball all the time, Bob.
Byrne gets a hand pass to Williams. Williams across to Healy. Healy puts a long kick forward. It's Frawley against Capper. Frawley punches the ball away. Over the boundary line it goes. Good defensive work by the Swans skipper, the Saints skipper. And it's Swans 9-5-59, St Kilda 2-3-15, 17.5 minutes into the second term.
Half forward flank. Oh, gee, that was too high, I feel. Yes, says Peter Cameron. The umpiring has been outstanding today. It's been consistent, and the players know exactly what the free kicks are for. As McConville from half back, he didn't know where to go. Eventually went onto the left and was an ordinary looking kick. Fisted away. Healy. Great skill player, Healy. Cordy, also good play. Kenny Sheldon, very experienced. To Scratcher Neal, Robert Neal. Oh, touch of the fumbles, and in league football, one fumble and they're on you like a ton of bricks. There he is, Scratcher Neal, a great character, top bloke. And they last met round 21 last year, 24-8. Sydney won by 29 points. I was trying to look at the score. That was the day, 24th of the 8th. Well, there's Capper ducking back. Gave away a free kick to Frawley. Frawley fighting back well. Advantage rule is paid. Scratcher Neal. Hand pass to Alistair Ford, formerly of Footscray. He goes wide. 30-metre hand pass. Frawley. Oh, gee, what a get back, Frawley. Capper's on his own. He's come out to beat the ball. Healy to Williams. Williams. Back it comes to Murphy. Capper's back on his own if he can get it there. Now Capper's there. I picked it. Oh, yes, but he's dropped the mark. Oh, boy. He was left alone by Frawley. You could see it coming, and he should have taken that mark, Capper, as the hand pass is given by Jamie Lamb.
Across to Sheldon. Sheldon hooks the ball back in towards the centre. Greg Burns stands his ground, waits for it, plays on immediately, puts it out wide in front of Owen. Owen can't quite get to it. Carroll puts him under pressure. Owen taps the ball forward and Carroll picks it up. A blind turn, a quick hand pass to Toohey. Toohey across to Coleman, who has one bounce. Shouldn't have had the bounce, but he gets away with it as Greg Williams puts the ball out wide. Healy's there. Gerard Healy straightens up, and from 60 metres out, it's off the side of the boot, out towards the forward pocket. The bounce favours McConville of St Kilda. McConville tackled from behind, taps the ball forward towards his skipper in Frawley. Frawley runs back, almost caught, but gets the ball forward to Coughlin. Coughlin now steadies, dummies around, a hand pass across to Whitty. David Whitty coming in towards the centre, puts a long kick to centre half forward. Lowe comes across to take a timely mark. That's more like it, Barry.
That was much more direct play, Bob, and that was a good piece of play by Lowe. One grab, watching this on replay, that was a really good mark, that one. Eyes on the ball all the way. Must do more of that, Stuart Lowe.
And the funny thing, I think his teammate Tony Lockett had his name written all over that if he hadn't have taken it. So let's hope that he kicks the goal for St Kilda's sake. There's a high floater. I think it's just in. Yes, a goal by the big centre-half forward, and that is his second of the game.
That was a good result for St Kilda there because it was a good piece of play to get the ball to Lowe, and they got full reward for that piece of play. There again on replay, that was a really strong mark. But as I said, it certainly doesn't do enough of that, Stuart Lowe.
Stuart Lowe, a former Mount Eliza boy, still only 19 years of age, so has a lot of future. Greg Williams. A short kick. Byrne puts a hand pass out wide. Murphy drives the ball forward. Tony Morwood trying to take it. Good defensive work by Whitty. Takes it away from Morwood. He puts the ball forward, but it's straight on the arms of Merv Neagle, who plays on immediately. Goes long towards goal to Morwood. Get it, he does! Just before the line, Tony Morwood, who's already kicked 2 goals. It's been a good duel with he and Whitty, but you can't afford to let your forward be kicking goals, and Tony Morwood's already kicked 2. A very, very tight angle, looking around for any leads. Goes straight towards goal. It's across the face of goal, out of bounds on the full. A free kick to St Kilda.
I can't understand when players mark on the boundary line like that, Bob. The chances of kicking a goal directly like that are nil. And I tell you what, he should run round and snap on the left foot, because he can do that too, Morwood, as we see Sheldon from the half-back line. I was certain he'd run round then. Holden knocks it away. There's Peter Budge, who's a pretty good little player. Sheldon, good play. Alistair Lord, further afield to Nathan Burke. Outdoor, good mark, a gutsy mark, and the Swans player down and has hurt himself. That was Rod Owen, and Terry Thripp has landed on his back and really hurt himself then as he tried desperately to cut off that lead. Well, Owen will take this kick from 40 metres out and is a very clever play. And Terry Thripp behind the play here is down, and let's hope he's not seriously hurt. There's the kick by Owen, a floater. It's very close, just offline and a point. He's kicked 3 behinds, Rod Owen, but at least he looks promising. He's covering a lot of territory and a very skilled player. I think he just winded himself, Terry Thripp. He's up and about now. Henwood has been fantastic, and a beautiful kick. The centre of the ground, the big leap. I mentioned him a moment ago. This kid can play, John Peter Budge.
So from virtually the centre of the ground, high kick. Punched away that time by the Swans defence. Burke takes it to St Kilda. Tackled, but had no chance of getting rid of the ball, and umpire Cameron very correctly deciding to bounce the ball about 30 metres out from the St Kilda goal. Lockett got the tap straight out there towards Taylor. Once again they're offline, and Kane Taylor this time puts it through for 1 point. St Kilda doing far better as far as getting the ball forward in this quarter. In fact, they've had most of the play, Barry.
They have, Bob, but just not quite finishing off their work. That was a great tap out by Lockett to Burke then, or to Taylor then, and it would have been a good piece of play if he could have finished it off.
Well, made a few changes with Scratch and Neal going onto the wing, with Murphy doing so well against Burke in the first quarter. John Peter Budge has come on and has done well as Burns gets the ball out. Forward by Kane Taylor. The hand pass by Tui across to Thripp, who now is okay. Thripp drives the ball forward. Leading in the race for the ball, McConville. Picks it up beautifully. The hand pass from McConville towards Peter Budge. He puts it out now, and we find Nixon driving the ball forward. Finds David Grant, who plays on immediately from centre wing. Grant puts it long towards half forward. Carter and Lockett. Lockett can't get to it, and Henwood picks it up. Well played, Henwood, as he gets it out wide to David Murphy. Murphy looks for, and he'll probably find Merv Neagle, who takes a fine mark. Neagle's got Greg Williams there, but he couldn't get up. Good play by Scratch and Neal to make sure that he didn't go on. Replay showing the ball, and it's a good mark to Neagle.
And he sets it up. Where's Kappa? Kappa caught in front, 10 metres in front then, and Frawley's fighting back well. He kicks it wide and finds Robert Neal is having a very good quarter, Robert Neal. Good pass. Peter Budge has done well since coming on the ground. John Peter Budge, and I said he can play, this kid, and he's always impressed me. So I wonder he's not regularly in the side. Lockett against 3 then. He had no hope. There's Tui. Good play, Lockett. Almost ran him down. Paul Hawke wide the Kappa. Up he goes. Can't take the mark, but he's got it. Oh, smothered brilliantly by Dean Rice. He comes away with the football, and that was good play, and a free kick down the ground will go to Kenny Sheldon. Now, the Saints have really picked up their game, but they're just not capitalising up forward. They've got Rod Owen now playing at full forward as Sheldon looks for him. Owen from behind. Oh, coming across was Alistair Ford. Those two, well, Owen will probably try and feed off him. Wide goes Dennis Carroll. Oh, David Murphy was beckoning the ball towards him with his hand. That was terrific. And Murphy, a tremendous player, David Murphy. Low, caught from behind. He's obviously playing on the back line now. Hawk, he's got the loose man in Morwood. He's got too much latitude. They've got to move David Whitty. He's giving him far too much space.
It's Whitty getting plenty of kicks himself, but you can't allow Morwood free rein as a short kick comes into Potter. And Potter plays on at the wrong time.
Play on from there, Bob.
No.
Just lack of communication there from the Swans forwards. He thought he had all the time in the world, as we see here on replay. Great pass from Tony Morwood.
You know, when you are that close,
you don't take the chance. Certain goal lost.
The kick out from fullback Frawley. Oh, here's the danger man in Healy. Bays to Thrip, wide to Healy. Oh, Gerard Healy settles the ball, and the mark has been taken for the Saints by Kane Taylor. Neil is getting a ton of kicks in this quarter. He'll go wide to Stuart Lowe, who has made the lead. And Lowe has got the drop on Coleman here. Coleman, desperate play. That was good play, but Lowe is good enough to get back and retrieve it. Looking for McConville. Good use of the body by Michael Byrne. Beautiful hand pass. Murphy. Off he goes, David Murphy. Under pressure. That was from Nathan Burke. It's up high. Peter Budge having a good quarter. Oh, bad hand pass though. Tripp dives on it. There's a chance for a hand pass. That was to Kenny Sheldon from his teammate in Jamie Lamb. Half forward is Owen. Oh, good desperate play by Rod Owen, but the Swans defence, Barry putting him under enormous pressure.
He had no chance there, Pete. He made a desperate effort to dive his way through, or bullock his way through that pack to get the ball out, but they were too strong for him.
Bounce to take place about 35 metres out from the St Kilda goal. Lockett gets a tap. It's taken by Burns. Burns snap off the side of the boot, goes right across goal. Bounces and still in play, in fact, as we find Burke picks it up for St Kilda, gets it through to Owen. Owen a snap straight across the face of goal. Will it go over the boundary line? Yes, it does, before Toohey can get there. So Bernard Toohey racing after it. If it had bounced the other way, he would have been off and running, but it didn't quite work out that way. Siren sounds, and at half-time, we see the Sydney Swans 9-6-60, St Kilda 3-5-53. At 53, it's 3-5-23. My apologies. St Kilda in that quarter had plenty of the play, but just didn't make much use of their opportunities. From 1-1 at quarter time, they put on 2 goals for during the quarter, but just really couldn't reach the gap. They had plenty of opportunities up forward, but with Lockett not scoring a goal in the first half. At the other end, Kappa kicking 4 in the first quarter, 0 in the second quarter. St Kilda's defence under a fair amount of pressure, but they lifted their game, Barry, during that term.
Their general play was much better, Bob. They used the ball a little bit better, became more direct, which in the first quarter they were wasting a lot of it. But as you said in your commentary there, they just couldn't finish the work off, as we saw there in the last couple of seconds of that quarter. They nearly had another opportunity to kick a goal, and it was a poor kick from Burns on his left foot. They just have to learn to finish their work off if they're going to get back in this game.
Half-time scores here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Swans 9 goals, 6-60. St Kilda 3-5-23.
Game about to start in this third quarter. Umpire Peter Cameron throwing the ball up in the air. Let's see if the Saints can fight back. They do in other weeks. They've got a lot of heart, this young side. So let's hope they can fight their way back into it for the sake of the football follower. As we see the kick off the ground, right down there by Kane Taylor towards half forward, but it's a mark, and it's to the Swans, and it's taken away there by Toohey. Toohey towards half forward. Saints will be very, very desperate to try and get back in this game after a great performance against Carlton last week. It's on centre wing, and it's holding the ball. A very, very good tackle by John Peter Budge, who had an excellent second quarter after coming on the ground. That is not good play to kick into the man. Carroll receives from Hawke. Dennis Carroll on the left foot, a high one towards half forward. Now a chance for the high flyers, all one-handed attempt. You can't afford that on the back line as players pounce in on top of it, and it's a line ball at centre half forward, and umpire Peter Howe will come in and either bounce it or throw it up.
60-23 in favour of the Swans as it's thrown up by umpire Howe. Michael Byrne gets a tap put on there by the big fellow in Bays, but Straightening up is Craig Potter, and I did hear a whistle, I think, from the crowd there. And I thought the play was going to stop. Somebody in the crowd blowing a whistle. But it's a goal to the Swans through Craig Potter.
That's put the issue a little bit further away from St Kilda there, and that contest there saw the ball. Michael Byrne again getting his hands to the ball first, and Craig Potter steading up, not under a great deal of pressure there from the St Kilda back line, and kicked a goal for the Sydney Swans.
Well, that's an understatement. I thought he was under no pressure whatsoever, and well, they have to do better than that, the Saints, as we see the ball fisted away. Out wide is Robert Neal. Now a chance for Tony Lockett, and Lockett, I don't think he's had a kick yet in this match. He might have had one, or this is possibly his second, and Rod Carter's been very, very miserly. He's kicked 59 for the season. Kappa's got had a good start to the game, 4 goals in the first quarter.
Kappa's got 62 at the moment.
Yeah, well, Tony Lockett going for goal number 60, and the Sydney crowd trying to put him off. He's only 30 metres out from goal, and there's the kick by Tony Lockett. It looks pretty good. Yes! A delayed action goal.
That was a good kick for goal by Tony Lockett, and that piece of play wasn't bad for St Kilda. Started off in the centre of the ground and kicking the ball down to the full forward in Tony Lockett, who was leading. He's a great kicker of the football, Tony Lockett, and once he gets the ball in front of goals, generally you can say it's going to be a goal, and Bob Skilton's smiling.
Thrown up in the centre. Forward again gets a tap. Evans missed it. It was picked up by Sheldon. Holden takes the ball away. A hand pass over the top. Not a good hand pass, but it's all Swans. Gerard Healy comes through, drives the ball towards half-forward. This time it's all Saints. No one can take the mark, though. McConville tried to get the ball clear. Michael Byrne, and so too Craig Potter, coming in to cause a bounce to take place. Almost 50 metres, almost on the 50-metre line. And so we'll see it thrown up. So obviously heavy conditions underfoot. The ground not quite as good as it looks, as we see another pack forming, and umpire Howe comes in to indicate that he'll bounce it once again, about 5 metres closer to the Swans' goal. Swans have scored 1 goal in this quarter, so too the Saints, as Greg Williams was tackled too high, missed by the umpire. The loose ball comes out to Tony Morwood. Greg Williams coming in again. Hawke comes on the scene. Byrne picks the ball up, can't quite get the handball in time, and he is penalised accordingly.
Yes, and that was in slow motion by Michael Byrne. He was well caught. Robert Neal had an excellent second quarter in this game, and that's the way to play it. Long up for Burns, although Burns, he shouldn't have to do the high flying. There's Owen. Down to half forward, Carter out in front of Lockett, overruns the ball, a hand pass, back it comes to Grant. Grant was looking further afield, but cutting it off was Healy. Healy back to Bays, Bays in front, took the mark, swings onto the left foot, and there's that long booming kick. Morwood from behind, can't take the mark. Scratcher Neal, brilliant play, he's really on fire at the moment. Kicks it wide, out towards the half-back line. Now let's see what the Saints can do. There's Lamb, he's got it, ducks around. Oh, good play to keep control to Alistair Ford. Ford with a wobbly-looking kick towards the centre wing area where the ball is fisted over the line by Neil Cordy.
Cordy has done an excellent job in defence, Barry.
Certainly has, Bob. As you say, he very underrated player and gets his fist to that ball many times when caught behind.
Coleman from behind wins the tap. Hawke's there. A hand pass towards Neil Cordy. Cordy tackle, but got the hand pass back to Hawke. Hawke likewise does it and gives it back to Neil Cordy, who now has time to steady, puts it out in front of Tony Morwood, and he takes the mark 40 metres out from goal. Forward about 5 metres in from the boundary, goes towards goal, but his kicks offline through for 1 point, so Tony Morwood has 2 goals, 2 on the board out of 10 goals, 7. 10-7, 67 to 4-5, 29.
Tony Morwood tried to kick back quickly because there was an unguarded goal. As you see, Dean Rice under pressure, kicking it right out towards half-back, but in fact the ball went over the line on the full, so it will be a penalty free kick out there to Terry Fripp. It's a clever play a moment ago by Morwood, but unfortunately for the Swans he just missed. Now he ducks around Terry Fripp, up to Michael Byrne, the big arms go up, he can't take the mark. Rice, a hand pass to Nixon, off they go, and it has to come back. The umpire is paying the free kick. It's going to Denny Frawley, I think, in defence. Or is it a Swans kick, is it?
It's going to the Swans,
I don't think the players knew, and I certainly didn't know it was behind the play.
I don't know. I think the only bloke who didn't know, Barry, was Peter McKenna.
Well, it's a free kick.
Well, it's to the Swans.
And it's Potter from right in front, 25 metres out. Craig Potter, he's hooked it badly and through for 1 point. What was it for, Bob?
I don't know, Peter.
I don't think anyone saw that one.
I think the umpire was the only one who saw it.
It was in the pack, obviously, as we see Graham Cordy about to come on the ground. And coming off is Tony Morwood. There's an unusual one. He must be injured. He certainly wouldn't be going off because of poor form. Here's Murphy, half-forward flank. Over to Hawke. Hawke back to Murphy. They're getting themselves in a bit of trouble, but Murphy tries to hook it back and puts it out on the foot. Why would Tony Morwood go off?
Well, you asked Coach Tom Hafey.
He must be injured, Pete. He couldn't...
He ran off the ground. Well, we might find out later on.
Peter McKenna might go down after the game and have a chat with Tom Hafey and see just why Tony Morwood was taken off. Coleman from behind, punches the ball away. Greg Williams is there, kicked off the ground by Sheldon. John Peter Budge picks the ball up. Graham Cordy smothered the ball, ran over the boundary line. So a throw-in to take place midway between centre wing and half-forward flank. There's Tony Morwood in the corner of our screen.
He's not
sitting on the bench. It doesn't look like he's getting any treatment. There's Healy, caught one too high. It's well picked up by Scratcher Neal, smothered by Toohey. Picked up and driven forward by Kane Taylor. In the way though is Coleman. Beautifully smothered that time by Ken Sheldon. Over the boundary line it goes. So we had some excellent defensive work in that facet of play. Sheldon on camera. Forward in front, wins the tap. It's intercepted by Williams. The hand pass to Hawke, offloaded by John Peter Budge. Williams comes in again. The hand pass to Coleman, who floats the ball forward to half forward and offline over the boundary line on the full. So the resulting free kick will be taken by Ricky Nixon. Nixon from Carlton to Golden Square, then down to St Kilda, but Coleman takes a lovely mark. Now, you know, one could say one of the true Sydney siders, Glenn Coleman, because he was recruited by Fitzroy from up here in Sydney. Over the top came Alistair Ford, over the boundary line, and a throw-in to take place. Half-forward flank, members side of the ground, 68-29.
Michael Byrne has done a lot of knocking on today and good team play. McConville, tremendous, reliable player. Peter McConville. Murphy, great to see him back in the side. He's an exciting player. Hand pass from Healy over his head. Sheldon caught, could have been holding the ball. And the umpires have hardly made a blue all day as we see coming across Merv Neagle looking for Kappa. He's caught behind Lamb to Burns. This is good play to Frawley. Now, where's Lockett? He's leading. Beautiful long kick. Lockett up in front, and that was good football. Beautiful play by Frawley. And a good lead by Lockett, and he will kick goals if they can get it to him quickly like that.
That was a great mark from Lockett, caught between those two Sydney Swans players, and a good piece of play coming down the ground from Danny Frawley.
Well, Tony Lockett, he's kicked one, a very bleak first half. It wasn't entirely his fault. It was good play by Rod Carter, as usual, but they were kicking down to the forward line was poor, and they weren't getting it there often enough, as we see. Lockett from only 30 metres out in one of the great kicks in league football, Tony Lockett. And he stabs at that one, no doubt. The goal umpire didn't move. Goal.
As we said before, Tony Lockett, a great kick for goal, and there was certainly no doubt about that one. Here we see on replay, taking that strong mark between Carter and Holden, and that really just shows the strength of Tony Lockett. 2 goals to Tony Lockett, trailing Warwick Kappa.
33 points the margin, and that's exactly what it was at quarter time. It's Tony Lockett, leading goal kicker, 85 and 86. From the centre bounce, it's kicked off the ground. Toohey takes it for the Swans. A long floating kick punched on by Graham Cordy. Leading in the race for the ball was Nixon, but he got a bad bounce. He gets good support from Neal. Neal a hand pass across to Whitty. Whitty gets the short kick forward. Alistair Ford takes it. A nice hand pass finds Lamb. Lamb puts it on with a long hand pass. And we find St Kilda going forward as John Peter Budge puts it high. Too high for Tony Lockett, in fact, and it's taken away by Henwood. Henwood across. He was looking for Neagle. Coleman comes in to lend support. Rod Owen comes in. Neagle's in there again for the Swans. Cop on the trip, and I think Merv Neagle will come out of this with the free kick. Plays on immediately. The hand pass is to Coleman. Coleman thought about giving it back, should have given it back. Murphy comes in, has pushed forward. Neagle takes it, the hand pass wide. Tui, a quick hand pass finds Gerard Healy, and the Swans going forward as Healy one bounce, steadies, drives it long. Kappa against Frawley, over the top. A beautiful mark to Peter McConville, who's played an excellent game.
Well, he is a terrific aerialist, Peter McConville. That was a fantastic moment. Look at that, he went early. It looked like being a one-out contest until he came on the scene. There's Dean Rice showing a ton of desperation, and young Lamb heads for the boundary line, Jamie Lamb, and puts it over the line. A couple of quick goals, Barry. The Saints will be right back in this.
Well, they're still fighting, Pete, and I think they just need those couple of little breaks there to get themselves back in this game.
Half-forward flank for the Swans. Alistair Ford was in there. Oh, Paul Hawke caught one right in the teeth. Potter. And the umpire said, I thought he was making an attempt to handball that, and the umpire said he was hanging on to it.
That was a little harsh. I don't know what Tommy Hafey thinks, but
I still can't get over Tony Morwood going off the ground.
I can't give you a reason. I thought it was one of the best goes that Morwood was playing this year.
I thought so too, Bob. Maybe Tom thinks that the game's over.
Well, I can't believe that, because St Kilda since quarter time have played probably better football than the Swans, but haven't been able to put goals on the board. As Cordy puts the ball forward, Michael Byrne comes away with it, dummies beautifully, straightens up onto the left foot, goes towards goal as he brought up his first for the Swans. Yes, he has.
Great goal by Michael Byrne there, and probably almost his first kick for the Swans. He's done a lot of bullocking work in the packs, used his hands effectively, and here we see on replay once again Michael Byrne breaking clear and showing us the mobility that Michael Byrne possesses for a big man, and that was a great goal from Michael Byrne.
It looked like a Bobby Stilton balk. That one, not a big man's balk, was a ripper.
Very mobile for a big man, Michael Byrne. Maybe it's the number that's caused his extra speed to come on.
There's kicked off the ground by Healy. Graham Cordy beautifully to Bays. Bays caught. Oh, Frawley and Kappa. Oh, good play, Frawley. That nearly snuck clear for Kappa to grab it, but he desperately hung on to it, Bobby.
It's been a great duel, and great credit to, as Tony Morwood watches on, great credit to Frawley for his effort since quarter time, because Kappa had 4 goals in. To Byrne it comes, another snap towards goal, and it's 2 in 2 minutes by big Michael Byrne.
Well, that'll certainly do a lot for the confidence of Michael Byrne, who hasn't had a lot of football this year and has probably only played 3 or 4 games, and he's kicked 2 goals in as many minutes. And here we see on replay once again Craig Potter getting the ball out to Michael Byrne's left foot and making no mistake. Certainly will be a big lifter for the Swans and Michael Byrne.
A good start in this term. I'd say start, it's almost at the middle of the term. Thrown up in the centre. Coleman wins the tap. Good play again by Potter, who's played an excellent game. And, well, I thought it was a mark to Michael Byrne then.
Great effort.
And I think Michael Byrne also thinks so, but his confidence is high when you can take a mark like that. And so it should be 2 goals in 2 minutes. Ford wins the tap. It comes through to Neagle, who hand passes wide. Murphy's there for the Swans. Puts it out in front of Craig Potter, who made position down the ground. Can't quite trap it, but he keeps it in play beautifully. Bad luck that it couldn't go to his teammate. Coughlin picks it up. Picked up now by Nixon. And from half-back, Nixon puts a lovely kick towards the half-forward line, and Lowe takes a fine mark. Goes on immediately. The hand pass wide to John Peter Budge. Goalwood he goes. He's offline. Maybe he should have gone with a short pass where Lockett had given a beautiful lead.
Yeah, Lockett had dummied Rod Carter and then made the lead. A little chip pass across it could have been a certain goal to Lockett, but still, he was within kicking distance, but he missed. 17,760 people here today, which isn't a bad crowd. St Kilda wouldn't have a huge following up here, I wouldn't think. Except one, there's one, Barry Breen, of course. We see bringing it further afield is Greg Williams. Hasn't been dominating today. Holden to Kappa. Good play, Frawley. Half-back is Nixon on the left foot, wide. Bernard Tui from centre wing. A little chip pass to Graham Cordy, who replaced Tony Morwood. Cordy's got it under all sorts of pressure. Coming away with the footballer was Nathan Burke. Oh, good play by Burns. Very clever. Oh, bad luck. Overrunning it was Scratcher Neal. In goes Tui. A clever hand pass to Cordy. Cordy centres it. Half forward, McConville. Can't take the mark, but desperately goes in after it again. And that was a push in the back, said the umpire, and a free kick to Peter McConville.
Almost St Kilda's best player, Pete. He's playing a great game, McConville, down there on that back line.
So Peter McConville from the half-back line, directs it in towards the centre of the ground. Henwood up high, punches the ball away, punched on that time by Lamb, taken by Sheldon, an excellent hand pass, finds Rod Owen, who has time for one bounce, steadies, goes goalward, lovely looking kick from Rod Owen. First goal to Rod Owen after 3 consecutive behinds.
That was a great piece of play by St Kilda. Great handball by the Bruce Duperus or look-alike Kenny Sheldon. Long handball to Rod Owen, and he made no mistake. Once again, we see here on replay. That was a great kick for goal on the run by Rod Owen.
Potter off the ground, and coming onto the ground is Peter Quirk.
Can you understand that one, Peter?
I won't make any comment, Bob. No, I think Potter's been working very, very hard. I still haven't got over Morwood, so I won't make a comment on that. But back to the centre, a couple of quick goals. I've been saying it right throughout the game. They can get back into this game, but Thripp hurriedly kicks it, but the mark is taken in defence by Dean Rice. He ducks away and kicks it wide. Lamb is in. Now, they've got a loose man here in Peter Budge. He should give the handball. Oh, gee, it's an ordinary hand pass. It puts Peter Budge under pressure. Back it comes to Lamb. Off goes Peter Budge, who's been an excellent player since coming on the ground. Coughlin is there, a real goer. Oh, he's loose. It runs over the ball. Thripp gets it wide to Graham Cordy. Cordy from centre wing kicks a high one, but it's all St Kilda. Ducking back to take the mark is Nixon. Oh, gee, again, that puts his player under pressure in Neal. Oh, great use of the body by McConville. Cops it round the neck, but the umpire Peter Howe elects to come in and bounce it. There's Craig Potter. Well, they're looking at his eye, so he might have got something caught in his eye. As we see, Alistair Ford has it hooked away. It was Quirk getting it to Neagle. Oh, again, that back line doing well, and the ever-reliable Peter McConville takes the mark.
So once again, McConville puts the ball forward, straight across the ground, really. They're still on short of the half-back line as Ricky Nixon now drives at the centre wing. Neagle in position, can't quite take the mark. Diving in after it was Murphy. Comes in, it's Grant. Grant gets a push in the back, and David Grant will take the free kick. Gives it out wide. It's on behind play as Neal puts the ball forward. A long kick taken well by Rod Owen. And so Owen 45 metres out from goal.
I don't know about you, Bob. I reckon this guy's got CLASS written all over him. He's a real class player.
If he hadn't had the knee reconstruction just after starting, who knows what Rod Owen might have been.
He's just so talented.
He has got an enormous amount of talent. The club's always had a very high opinion of him.
Well, Rod Owen from 55 metres. Oh, it's floating back. Not quite enough, though. He went to the torpedo punt. He puts it through for a point, but he's limping, and that's bad news. Well, he's actually kicked 1 goal for Rod Owen after 7 goals. What a good effort last week in the losing side, and let's hope he doesn't restrict him too much, because, as I said, exciting player. Henwood was magnificent in the first half. Towards the centre of the ground, Cordy, geez, a good overhead mark. Neil Cordy, centre of the ground almost. Hand pass, or once they get that loose man going, they're dangerous. Hawke, wide. Graham Cordy ducking back, takes the mark. He'll probably play on here as he wants to get on with it. He's looking for the short one. And good to see thinking there, Graham Cordy, as he sets it up for Kappa and Michael Byrne. Byrne, yes, name written all over it. Into the open goal, 3 goals to Michael Byrne.
Yes, Michael Byrne certainly had his name written all over that. Kappa went to lead. Byrne slipped into the goal square, and there was never, ever any doubt that Michael Byrne wasn't going to mark this ball, as we see here on the replay. Just never, ever in doubt, and just ran into the open goal. 3 goals to Michael Byrne.
It's 13-8, 86, 6-7, 43.
We said how well Peter McConville's playing, but you must realise he's playing on Michael Byrne, Bobby, and Byrne's kicked 3 on him.
3 for this quarter as Lowe kicks the ball off the ground. A great effort by Holden to take that diving mark, and Holden too playing an excellent game. Craig Holden now from half back directs the ball out towards centre wing, hoping for Thripp. He can't take the mark. He gets support from Graham Cordy, who tapped it on. Likewise, it was tapped on by Healy on that occasion. Murphy comes through. The left foot go David Murphy. Capper out in front of Frawley. Well done, Frawley, as he punched the ball away. Desperate defence. He got it to McConville. His kick off the side of the boot. But it was true defensive work by Danny Frawley, who is limping behind play. Frawley doesn't look too good at all at the moment. And it won't worry him as far as pain's concerned, because real courage, Danny Frawley. Murphy puts the ball long. Quirk's there, right on the line. Did it go over? No. Peter Quirk, recruited from Miranda and originally came from Warrigal.
You're a wealth of information, Bob.
Thanks, mate. He's 26 years of age too, if you really want to know.
And he said he tried out at Hawthorn twice and missed out.
Yes, Frank Davis, the recruiting officer down that area, had Peter Quirk there, but it matters not, because Quirk's proving his work to the Swans as he puts through his work for first goal.
Peter Quirk there just finishing off the work that happened further up the field. I think it might have been a goal even if Peter Quirk had have let it go through, as we see here on the replay. Kicked into the square with Peter Quirk over behind Michael Byrne, and I think that ball would have gone through whichever way it went. Maybe it did go through.
Quirk wasn't to know, though, and he wasn't to know where he was. So 92 to 43. The Swans getting a break once again, and Healy playing a superb game, takes it out, gives it across to Byrne, out wide. The hand pass missed Healy, but he recovers it well, straightens up, gets past the tackle, onto the left foot he goes, offline, up high as Capper, through post by Frawley, won the rush point.
Has Healy got terrific skills or what, Barry?
Oh, he's a great player, Bob. I thought they probably just did a little bit too much then. They could have perhaps been a little bit more direct there, but certainly Healy, great skills.
My name's Peter too, Barry, not Bob. Hey,
sorry, Pete.
Glenn Coleman, and Coleman's played a fine game today. He'll make it very hard for Ironmonger to get back in, Barry.
I think he will. I think Coleman, the last 2 weeks especially, has played very well. I thought he was one of Swan's better players last week. Now we see a 15-metre penalty to Coleman for Stuart Lowe running over the mark.
Well, I don't agree with that. Coleman ran too close to the man on the mark. Maybe it was a yard over, but that was... Oh, look, to me, and Coleman would have picked it up and been running into goal anyway. I know by the letter of the law, umpire Cameron is correct. Coleman swings it across goal. Byrne! Well, what a quarter he's playing, and it's taken everything away from the superb effort that Peter McConville had put up to date. Michael Byrne has already kicked 3 goals for this quarter. He'll finish up making number 14 famous.
Actually, I think McConville's been moved to the forward line now. He had 3 goals kicked on him, and they've moved... I think he's down the forward line. He is down there. They had to do something, I suppose, as Byrne comes in for goal number 4. What a debut by Michael Byrne. And what's he done with it? He's kicked it.
4th goal to Michael Byrne, and he's certainly giving the Swans something that they've been lacking all year, and that's a focal point if Warwick Capper is held, or if he leads further up the ground. Certainly giving him that height to kick to in the goal square, and he's going to be a great asset to the Swans in the lead up to the finals.
Barry, if my memory proves correct, I think when he went from Melbourne to Hawthorn, his first game he kicked 8 or 9 goals. While we're having a commercial break, I happen to mention to you that in Michael Byrne's first game for Hawthorn, he kicked about 8 goals, so he must like it first up. Craig Holden off the side of the boot. Lamb comes through. It's taken by Lamb, who steadies, goes forward. Owen's waiting there, takes a well-judged mark. Only 20 metres out from goal. So Rod Owen, who has already kicked 1 goal, 4, should have no trouble kicking his second.
They've moved, I'm pretty sure they've moved Tony Lockett into the ruck. McConville's down at full forward. They've moved Lowe to centre half back. They need a bigger man on Byrne. He's just been far too tall. And McConville's battled his heart out, but you can't give away that many inches. There's a kick by Rod Owen, and he has put it through for a goal. So, Rod Owen, as we said, tremendous skills. He read that beautifully. That's his second goal of the game, and they need a couple more quick ones. There he is, Rod Owen, and There's his stats for the day. 12 kicks, 6 marks and 4 handballs. So in a losing side and playing on the forward line, and he was starved of opportunities early. That's a pretty good effort by Rod Owen. Peter Cameron throwing the ball up in the centre. Once again, Coleman has been terrific. Lockett got that one out beautifully to Kenny Sheldon, and a long driving torpedo punt over the head of Rod Carter and Alistair Ford, who they've got resting on the forward line, and over the line out of bounds deep in that forward pocket.
15-9, 99, 7-9, 49, 50 points the margin, 26.5 minutes have gone in this third term. High over the top came Henwood. It's grabbed by McConville. Snapped towards goal, is across the face of goal and out of bounds on the full. So Gerard Healy will take the resultant free kick. Former Melbourne utility man, or ruck rover really. Still only 26 years of age, doing a physiotherapy course. And McConville taking a fine mark. Well, even though Byrne has kicked 4, 3 of them against McConville, McConville has been a great trier for St Kilda as Carroll backs back. Owen couldn't take it, but recovers beautifully, snaps towards goal. Down there was Alistair Ford, off the hands of Hawke and Ford, and it's through for 1 point. In a case like that, Peter, would you put that as rushed or 1 point to Rod Owen?
Rushed. Definitely rushed. That one is Hawke. Kicks off from full back. There's McConville again. Almost took the mark. Shuffled out by Lamb. Grabbed by Hawke. Not Hawke. Slip, I should say. Across to Bernard too. And the umpires have been most consistent all day on that one, Bob.
I think they've done a pretty good job.
Excellent job. And we're now and again can the umpires, but, well, today they've been excellent.
And they were excellent on Friday night as well in very bad conditions. As the loose ball comes out, young Dwyer on the ground. Dwyer taps the ball down again, but it's over the boundary line. And a throw-in to take place. Forward pocket for St Kilda. 99 to 50, a 49-point margin to the Swans. 28.5 minutes into the third term. Glenn Coleman, 7 hit-outs. Alistair Ford, 21 so far in this game. As Henwood tapped it over the back, was taken by Cordy, who gave it out with a hand pass. Henwood put the ball back. Hawke takes the loose one. Hand passes it back to Greg Williams. Williams puts it out in front of Michael Byrne, and Byrne having a magnificent quarter. He's doing everything, and now takes another mark.
Confidence, Bob. Amazing what it does.
Well, we've spoken about it often, Pete. All you need is a little bit of confidence. You can be off and running. As Byrne puts the ball forward, in the way is David Whitty. He plays on immediately. Quirk tried to smother it, couldn't do so. Craig Holden stands his ground, couldn't take the mark. It's picked up by Kane Taylor, who runs through the centre, goes across the ground. 3 players there, is picked up by John Peter Budge. The hand pass to Stuart Lowe, who taps it wide. Lamb accepts it. Jamie Lamb couldn't get the ball clear. Overrun that time, and it comes back to Lamb again. His hand pass, Mrs. Stuart Lowe, racing after it is stripped. Picks it up in good style, got the hand pass in. Henwood comes through. A nice hand pass from Henwood across to Toohey. The long kick down towards the half-forward line. Punched away by Frawley. Nixon picks it up, drives it back towards the centre. A high fly is required as Coleman punches the ball down. Tapped on out wide. Healy with a lovely hand pass. Beautiful football. Gerard Healy, and it's Holden who goes forward. Oh, a lovely mark. So Warren Kappa, who kicked 4 goals in the first quarter, and I think only had 1 kick since then when he kicked across goal.
Well, I really doubt the distance here. He might surprise me. He's got a kick from nearly 50 metres. I don't think Warwick can kick that far. I hope he proves me wrong. Bob, we'll see a great camera shot of this one from behind the goals. I think the distance would be a big doubt. He kicks from about 49 metres. It floats, and I didn't think he could do it. It's right in front of goal. Stuart Lowe heads for the line and puts it through right on the siren to end the third quarter here, which shows the scoreboard showing the Sydney Swans on 15 goals 10, the even 100, leading the Saints on 7-8, 50, so exactly double their score.
Kicked when 3 players kicked 100 goals in 1 year there.
1970 to Hudson, Peter Hudson, what a great player, and of course the great Alex Jezelenko.
Well, the other one wasn't much of a player. So Lockett brings the ball down. Good tap from Lockett, pushed in the back is Nixon. And I really don't mean that, because Peter McKenna was a magnificent full forward and one of the best kicks for goal that I have ever seen. Henwood up high, but made the mistake of trying to mark from behind. I don't agree with the umpire here. I think if you're in front, you should get the mark, and for mine, Peter McConville should have got it.
Well, yes, I tend to agree with you, Bob. Henwood was tremendous, particularly in the first quarter of this match. He was outstanding, as we see Dennis Carroll, typical of Carroll, the long kick. Now, that was Lockett flying for it. I wonder if he's in defence or in the ruck,
mate.
Yes, well, he's playing around the half-back line at the moment, dropping back. Off the side of the boot was Coughlin. So always under pressure today, the Saints, as far as their kicking goes. Holden, wide, grabbed by Tui. Tui a high one. Oh, the big fly was by Kane Taylor, but he should have really weighted down, I think, on that occasion. He had a man there doing the flying. Knocked away by Quirk. Michael Byrne was there, and Bays. Bays gets it out. Merv Neagle hooks it back. Now, the easy mark dropped by Whitty, but he's able to recover and hook it back. I bet he's glad Tony Morewood's off the ground, David Whitty.
There were four for St Kilda players there. One Swan, and it went straight to Gerard Healy, who drives it forward. Capper up, brings the ball down the ground, taps it on again. The loose ball put away by Quirk. Quirk snaps towards goal from the boundary line. It's swinging back. It's a magnificent goal. Peter Quirk.
Gee, let's have a look at that replay. 16-10 plays 7-8, but Peter Quirk has kicked. That will go down as one of the goals of the year. There is no doubt about that one, as we see. We'll look at it in replay. It's forced towards the pocket. There's David.
Quirk, it's Murphy.
In fact, it wasn't Peter Quirk. It was David Murphy, the wingman, and he snapped high from the boundary. That was a magnificent goal, and I think Peter Quirk would have been proud of that, but David Murphy was the man. He does some miraculous things. Here comes the Saints. Down towards half forward, chipping across is Bernard Tui. Now Tui, from half-back, ducks around far too easily, and he goes straight up the centre, and that's the way to play the Sydney cricket ground. Byrne from behind, fisted away. It comes wide to half-back.
David Murphy will never speak to me again.
No, it was, well, actually, believe it or not, I thought it was Quirk as well, Bob. So there's Neil on the left foot towards half forward, all over the back of the Packers. Henwood, very, very strong player. To Carroll, he's got loose men everywhere, but he elects to do it again.
Fine game.
The long kick, Frawley out in front of Kappa, but chipping across his lamb in front of his teammate. No, it's not. In fact, it is Dean Rice to take that clever mark.
And Swans' defence has done a superb job today, Pete. Nixon goes forward right onto the chest of Sheldon, who thought about playing on, but now elects to go back and have his kick. Not a lot of movement from the St Kilda forward line as Sheldon puts the kick forward. McConville was up high. At the back, Henwood first on the scene. Thought about the hand pass. It was beautifully read by Owen. Henwood dives in again. The pack starting to form. Hawke gets it out to Neil Cordy. Another excellent player. The hand pass out to Coleman. In pursuit was McConville, but Coleman has time to drive the ball long. Taken by Byrne. A hand pass wide to Healy. On to Greg Williams. Williams steadies. Torpedo punt kick, nobody home for the Swans, and Tony Lockett dropping back from the ruck position, and they're the two leading goal kickers there, pushing each other as Lockett pushed away with Kappa. Hawke punches the ball away. Well taken by Neagle. The hand pass to Williams again. A beautifully placed kick by Williams, right onto the chest of Mark Bays.
Well, I love watching Bays kick for goal. Now, I reckon he's 55 metres out and he'll make the distance. No doubt about that. He is a great kick. And that's a goal. Top kick by Mark Bays.
That just shows you what a good judge Peter McKenna is of a good forward. He was 55 yards out, Mark Bays, but what a lovely pass from Greg Williams to set that goal up. And Mark Bays, certainly the player to kick that goal from 55 metres out. Have a look at that drop punt. A perfect left foot kick.
And I think you'd agree, Barry, the reason he kicks so long is he doesn't kick them high. He drives them low. And any young kid watching, that's the way to kick.
Coleman gets the hand pass out of the centre. It's taken there by Greg Williams. A quick hand pass out to Craig Holden. And the whole Swans defence, every one of them have done their job today. Forward in the way, but it's punched away by Murphy. Picked up by Gerard Healy. Kappa in the front. It's punched away by Frawley. Hawke's on the scene. Thought about the hand pass. Now he gives one across to Michael Byrne. Byrne puts a high floating kick, but he's offline this time. 4 goals in the third quarter and a 1 point so far in this term, so that's his tally for the game. 4 goals, 1 out of 17-11. 113 to 50. as the Saints go straight up the middle of the ground. Coleman's there, couldn't take the mark. Greg Williams after it, traps it beautifully. A quick hand pass to Coleman. He floats the kick forward. No one can take the mark. Dean Rice is at the back and has plenty of time to steady, drive the ball long. He's looking for John Peter Budge. Finds that player who goes on a short pass from that player, and McConville takes it after a nice little chip pass from Peter Budge. Same thing coming now from McConville, and he finds his former Carlton teammate in Ken Sheldon. Sheldon, 60 metres out from goal. Lovely kick from Sheldon right through the centre. 1 goal, 2 goals in fact for the game to Ken Sheldon.
That was a great goal from Ken Sheldon there, as good as Mark Bayes just previously, after a little chip shot from Peter McConville, who has been, I think, St Kilda's best player, whether in attack or in defence. There we see on replay a shot of that long torpedo punt.
Well, I'm glad I didn't open my mouth then. I was about to say I doubt whether he'd make the distance, and then he let loose Kenny Sheldon with that booming torpedo. With a drop punt, he wouldn't have made the distance. But there is Greg Williams. Hasn't had a brilliant day, but always doing something constructive. Down to Graham Cordy, over to Paul Hawk, into the open goal. He dodges, bang, fires a goal, and I think he's offline. He is. 1 point only to Paul Hawk, and every picture tells the story. He's not happy with that. 17-12 to 8-8. Frawley, a fantastic effort. 4 goals on him early by Warwick Capper. Capper was on fire, and Frawley has only kept him to 1 kick since. Lockett appreciating the movement round the ground. He played well in the state game, the state of origin for Victoria, when he went into the ruck. Towards Peter Budge, a beautiful hand pass to Frank Coughlin. It's smothered. The Swans are very good at that smothering game. Neagle was across to Healy, to Williams. Further afield is Murphy. Oh, geez, an exciting player. He runs to the 50-metre line. He kicks. Capper! Good mark, Warwick Capper. Got in front of Frawley. Wrong mark right in the goal square, and this will be his 5th.
There on replay, Warwick Capper once again in front, but all the good work done much further up the ground. But that was a strong mark, and the place where Warwick Capper has been most of the day, in front.
It's been a great duel down there. Full forward and full back as Capper puts the ball through. It's his 5th goal. 5 goals to Warwick Capper. 18-20, 120 the Swans. 18-12 that is, to 8-8-56.
Here we see Murphy streaming down the ground, and what a great kick of the football Murphy is on the run, and that was just a fantastic drop punt into the goal square for Capper to position himself to take that mark. But Murphy certainly being one of the Swans' better players today on his return after a knee injury.
Tony Morwood back on the ground. Peter Quirk off for the Swans. It's a 64-point lead to the Swans. As Gerard Healy tried to get it clear, Coughlin got the hand pass in. Coleman couldn't quite tap it out, and Bayes gets it out. It's taken by Neagle. Toohey, well tackled by Coughlin. Couldn't get boot to ball. Coughlin taps it out. Burns is tackled, and the umpire says, "Give it to me, I will throw it up."
I've been wondering about Tony Morwood. Well, I think Tommy Havey was dying to give the interchange a run, and someone had to come off, and I think poor old Tony Morwood was the poor one who copped it, because he was playing so well. As the punch away comes back eventually to Neagle. Henwood was the original player who punched that one. Towards half forward it goes, and the mark has been taken by Dean Rice. Rice from half-back flank. It's been a very disappointing effort, this, by St Kilda. They pushed Carlton last week, and I think you can't blame 2 players out of the side for this performance. It's been very ordinary indeed. As we see it come across to Murphy again, that was from Coleman. Of course, via Healy as well. Graham Cordy in front, couldn't take the mark. Grabbed by Bayes, caught with the ball. Holding the ball, said the umpire. And it will go back to, is it Stuart Lowe down there? Let's see, or is it Nixon? It is in fact Ricky Nixon.
So Nixon now with the aid of a 15-metre penalty. Drives it along towards half forward. Oh, it's a lovely mark at the back by Lockett. Now, our guide for whether you can kick a goal or not, Peter McKenna.
Well, he couldn't possibly kick it with a drop punt, I wouldn't think. I think it'd have to be a torpedo punt to have any chance of making the distance, Bob, and he's going to the torpedo punt, and it's a booming kick. It is a great kick, and it's a goal. He's kicked 3 for the game, Tony Lockett, and I don't think he can kick 5 or 6 today, the fact that he's playing in the ruck. Back at full forward, he'd be a chance, Bob.
We've certainly seen some great kicks of football in the last 5 minutes from Mark Bayes, Ken Sheldon, and now Tony Lockett. They were 2 great torpedo punts. 298 goals to Tony Lockett in his short career with the St Kilda Football Club.
Yes, a short career. At only 21 years of age, the former boy from North Ballarat. Taps it wide, Coughlin. A nice hand pass to Nixon, good talking. As Nixon puts the ball long, low over the back. Almost paid the mark, and a free kick has been found to the Swans. Would you have paid that, Peter?
I would have, definitely. I thought he marked that. What do you think, Barry?
I thought he had his hands to it for a fairly long length of time.
Dennis Carroll with a lovely kick out of defence out wide. Bayes is up, so too Michael Byrne. Ken Sheldon intercepts. The left foot from Sheldon goes forward. In the way once again. And Dennis Carroll, who has been a great captain and really back to his best today. Long hand pass. Bernard Toohey. The whole defence of the Swans has been fine player. Fine.
Chief, that was a
close-knit group today as Dean Rice took another good mark. Gives it across to Burns. Greg Burns drives it long. Rod Owen punched away by Henwood, who came over the top. Forced forward by Holden. Thripp comes through. Does well. Got the hand pass, but it was well smothered by Owen. Owen goes short. A good lead coming down. And we find it. Hand pass by Grant. Back towards Owen. Traps it. Can he snap truly? He doesn't. Cross the face of goal. And once again, the defence of the Swans is firm as Dennis Carroll takes it, puts it long, looking for David Murphy. McConville's there, so too Murphy. Can he keep it in play? He cannot. Over the line it goes. Throw-in to take place with the Swans on 120 points. St Kilda 62, almost 12 and a half minutes into the term.
Half forward flank for the Saints. Oh, there's Hawke. Getting it to Neagle, further afield to Holden, and here they come again, the Swans, to the brilliant Healy. Now where's Capper? No, he comes across, back to Neagle. The lead has been made by Capper. Frawley falls over, and he's got no possible way that Capper could miss that mark. Frawley slipped over. I think he is injured, Danny Frawley. He hurt himself in the 3rd quarter. He slipped over as Capper made the lead, and a lovely pass allowed Capper to do it easy.
Did that wager say either forward?
What's that?
That's 6 goals. Did it depend on either forward?
No, that has to be Tony Lockett, and you're not looking good, Bob.
Warwick Capper lining up for his 6th goal. And the goal number 64 for the season. If Warwick Capper can kick truly, there he goes, right through the centre.
Well, Warwick Capper certainly has kicked the football well today. He was about 35 metres out there. And there was no doubt about that goal. Certainly kicking the ball with a lot of confidence today is Warwick Capper, as we see once again the ball coming down through the agency of Merv Nagel. A perfectly paced pass to Capper, unfortunately falling over.
A very ungainly looking mark.
I hope they're not going to play that stupid Swans song every time the Swans kick a goal, Bobby. That drives you mad when you're commentating, as we see the hand pass come to Greg Williams. Oh, look at the way he did that. Onto the left foot goes Williams. That was brilliant play, and that is a lovely goal.
Second goal to Greg Williams. What a great piece of play that was, and just showing the marvellous balance and control over the football that Greg Williams has. Here we see Healy hitting the ball across to Williams. See him here tackled, shepherded by Morwood, regains his composure, kicks a goal.
Well, I'm putting in my protest straight after the game. If they play that record again, I will scream.
But you don't have to put it in after the game because the man can hear you.
Oh, heck.
Lockett gets a big tap from the centre. McConville leads in the race for the ball, taps it forward, goes after it again, overruns the ball. Bad luck from McConville. Did he get a free kick for pushing the back? No, he did not, but typical Peter McConville, still in there battling his heart out, and the bounce to take place.
Is that bloke listening to this?
He can hear every word.
He's a lovely man. Oh, well, here it is with Lockett, who's really livened up since going into the ruck. Kenny Sheldon heads for the boundary line, and well, there's been a very impressive performance this by the Swans, as we see John Peter Budge looking for Scratcher Neal, who flies from behind. There he comes in after it, Robert Neal. And terrific character, Robert Neal, a great bloke from Wynyard, formerly in Tasmania, and he's a terrific player, Bobby, for many years for Geelong.
Oh, he's been a great player and been good for league football. Byrne over the boundary line, it's punched, and a throwing to take place 60 metres out from the St Kilda goal. We're approaching the 16-minute mark, 132 to 62, so it's a 70-point lead to the Swans as Sheldon picks the ball up, gets it across to McConville with a nice hand pass, hooks it down towards the goal area, punched away by Henwood. Good defensive work. St Kilda forwards desperate to try and put a couple more goals on the board, but there's no lack of desperation amongst the Swans' defence, and they retain the ball there. 58 apiece as far as marks are concerned, and the bounce will take place 30 metres out from St Kilda's goal. Grabbed by Lowe, picked up by Henwood. Henwood floats the ball forward. A beautiful pick-up on the half volley by Graham Cordy, and he then floats the ball forward to centre wing. Thripp traps the ball well. Terry Thripp now from the wing towards half forward. Glenn Coleman coming across. Can he keep it in play? He does with a quick hand pass. Bayes is there. Gets the hand pass forward. Coleman and forward, kicked off the ground by Coleman. In with Dean Rice. Rice, though, puts the ball forward. Is it in play? Yes, bounces over the line, and a throw-in to take place. Number 37, Dean Rice, lovely little back pocket player, has tried his heart out. 29 to 15, the scoring shots for the game, and it's 132 to 62. As Paul Hawke, a last-minute replacement, has made the most of it. Hawke got one in the back. I think he played for it a little bit, but nonetheless, he has done well. Coming in with Stevie Wright and Barry Mitchell dropping out. Gets it across to the other late replacement in Graham Cordy. Lovely kick from Cordy, but Tony Lockett comes across to take a fine mark.
Well, he's down there to stop Kappa. He's coming right across in front of Kappa all the time. I don't think he wants Kappa to get too many goals, because they're neck and neck on the goal-kicking table. And don't worry, they'd be thinking of it too. As we see...
Maybe all bets should be off, seeing he's got it full forward.
Oh, but let's just shout me a drink, Bob, instead, as we see it on centre wing. And I want that to happen once in a lifetime at least.
Darryl Baldock having an interested look, and probably thinking at this stage a little bit about next week as much as today. I'm sure he'd want the team to fight it right out to the finish. As Thripp gives it across to Graham Cordy. Bayes coming across, takes a lovely mark, and this is where he kicked the goal from earlier in the quarter. Mark Bayes goes long, he's hooked it. Too wide, in fact, and over the boundary line on the full. Did he rush it a little bit, Pete?
Yes, definitely. I was thinking that when he took the mark, he should go back and steady and have a deliberate shot, because no doubt about distance with Mark Bayes. He can kick him a mile, as we see Frawley bring it back to halfback. Gee, that was a good mark. He's battled hard, John Peter Budge, as he brings it to half forward. Cordy, a lot of ability, Neil Cordy, as he goes in after it. Healy, tremendous player. But the player wasn't ready for that one. Mark Dwyer, Bernard Toohey, or maybe it was a bit too firm, that handball. Scratcher Neal, good play. Hand pass over the top. Peter McConville from half forward just had to rush that one at the last second when he was tackled, and he puts it out of bounds.
I think you're a little bit harsh on Peter Toohey when you're saying he wasn't...
Bernard Toohey.
When you said he wasn't ready.
Bad handball, do you think?
Yes. Peter McConville wouldn't be happy missing that one, as Michael Byrne gets the big punch away. Robert Neal picks the ball up high in the air. Cordy coming out, couldn't quite take the mark. It was a great effort by Owen, and almost an even greater effort when soccer style, and it hit the post. So Rod Owen, 2 goals, 5 to his credit. And it was very gutsy go at having a mark there by Rod Owen. Henwood straight up the centre. Burns in front. Has the ball punched away. Coghlan coming through, couldn't quite take possession. Pack forming. Nobody can get the ball out, as Greg Williams was in there.
I can't help thinking how much easier it is for a player to play on the ball when Lockett takes those marks around half back, and how much harder it is at full forward.
Spoken by true full forward as Thripp comes through, couldn't quite take it. Sheldon picks it up, floats it towards the forward area, and Lowe takes a nice mark. And that shows how easy it is on the forward line.
Well, there's Lowe, and that's 15 metres against Rocket Carter. And Rod won't be too impressed with that, even though it's a late stage and they've got the game well won. Look, Lowe's not going to wait as he just walks in with Rod arguing and slams it through for a goal. 3 goals to Stuart Lowe, and that's not a bad effort. He spent a bit of a time in defence for a while there, Barry, but at centre-half forward he didn't do a lot.
Didn't do much at all, Pete. He's taken a couple of strong marks, but a couple being the operative word. And really, Stuart Lowe, with his size and the strength of his hands, possibly should take more marks, as he just took there in front of Rod Carter. They're just having a quiet wrestling duel.
132 to 69, 21 minutes into the final term. Coleman against Lockett. Beautiful tap from Coleman. Greg Williams playing a superb last quarter. It's punched away by Rice. Coming through Tony Morwood. The hand pass out to Graham Cordy. The left foot snap. Which way will it bounce? It doesn't bounce because Frawley, running back, took the timely mark. Goes short over the top. Nixon is there. Got 2 players wide. Elects to find Kane Taylor with a hand pass. Taylor comes back and a hand passes across towards his skipper. Crawley couldn't take it. Will they lose it? Will they muck it up with that one? A bounce will take place, so I think Taylor went the wrong way, coming onto the right foot instead of going around the boundary, Pete.
There was another man over the top there, Bob, that if he had got that ball out, it would have been good night. But just taking the wrong option all the time at the moment.
Warwick Kappa 7 scoring shots to Lockett 3, and as we see Neagle pick it up and hooking at the goals and hit the post. But getting back to the 2 full forwards, no wonder he's had more scoring shots. Warwick Kappa, it's down there a heck of a lot more, and that makes a big difference to a forward and how quickly the Swans take it down. As we see Tony Lockett kicking out from full back, and well, it's unusual for Tony Lockett to be doing that. Potter back at, he's been a good player. Look at that for skills at his leg. That was good play, Coleman. No wonder Ironmonger can't get back in the side. Up towards the pocket it goes. Big Michael Byrne going for goal number 5. He hooks it back, but the mark has been taken by David Whitty. Whitty, last line of defence. Terry Thripp is off the ground, and Peter Quirk is on as Whitty brings it straight down the ground. Oh, an easy mark drop. That was by Lamb. Scratcher Neal gets it further afield, and a long driving kick comes right down towards half forward. That was by Kane Taylor. Oh, there's a leg. Another one down the other side. Carter, that looked funny as we see. Was that Dennis Carroll in fact getting it to Potter. Potter to Coleman, who's playing the loose man to perfection now. Where's Kappa? He's caught behind. Lockett's up in front. Kappa over the back, dives on it, and then comes umpire Peter Howe. The umpiring today has been outstanding, and no wonder. You know who's here today, Bob? Billy Della, the umpires, the chief of the umpires is here, so the umpires have been outstanding.
You think it was McKenna?
I want to get an invite to the ball.
Nixon across to Taylor and Peter Budge, who since coming on has been an excellent player for St Kilda. So John Peter Budge from the half-back line. Cordy coming across from behind. Fine player right throughout the day, Neil Cordy. An excellent game. Good shepherding allows him to run his full distance and drive it long, but Dean Rice is in the way once again. Rice brings the ball across towards centre wing. Quirk, nice piece of shepherding to allow Holden to get there first. Holden is tripped, and so Craig Holden will take the free kick on centre wing. Gives the hand pass across to Coleman, having a picnic. Glenn Coleman drives it forward. Tony Morwood, a lovely mark. Tony Morwood, 2 goals, 1 in the first quarter, 1 in the second, and so Tony Morwood, 30 metres out from goal. A very deliberate shot by Morwood. Brings up 1 point. So 2 goals, 3 out of 20 goals, 14. It's 134 to 69. That was the Swans' brains trust, and this is Danny Frawley putting the ball back into play. Cordy punches it away. The hand pass that time came from Rice, and the kick finds itself with Ken Sheldon, who goes wide looking for Greg Burns, and he doesn't let him down. Burns plays on immediately, looks forward for Lowe. Stuart Lowe takes a nice mark. So Lowe about to go for his 4th goal, and Rod Carter wouldn't be happy with Stuart Lowe kicking 2 goals in a quarter, because very miserly about his opponents kicking goals. But there it is, 2 goals for the term for Stuart Lowe.
Well, strangely enough, I think that Stuart Lowe is better suited to full forward than he is to centre-half forward. But with Lockett there, I know Darryl Baldock, Bobby, would like to make Lockett into a centre-half forward, and maybe they could do that.
Well, Stuart Lowe has got 4 goals, 2 of them in this last quarter, whilst at full forward. So who knows? Maybe Darryl Baldock might make a move like that, and maybe leave him in the ruck. 134 to 75 in favour of the Sydney Swans. 26 minutes into the quarter. It's just as well we've got lighting here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Otherwise it would be quite dark. Sheldon drives it out wide, and again Burns takes the mark.
Would like to have him up at Carrara for the Brisbane Bears, Bobby. It gets pretty dark up there quickly.
All of a sudden they pull down the blind up there at Carrara as Burns drives it along. McConville has it bounce off the chest. Hawke comes through. So too Scratcher Neil, but it's kicked off the ground by Henwood. A very intelligent piece of play. Neil Cordy comes on the scene. Hand passes to Hawke. Hawke puts it out where we find Murphy. Puts a long kick up towards half forward. Lamb there, punches the ball away. Picked up by Nixon. Nixon a quick hand pass. It finds Whitty. Whitty gets it across. Byrne picks it up. Byrne hand passes towards Neagle. Neagle runs back. Gives the hand pass out, and Potter with a short pass finds Greg Williams. Williams comes across the ground. He's looking for Kappa. Punched away by Frawley. Frawley goes in underneath it again and gets a free kick. Fine defensive work by the Saints skipper.
That was fantastic play by Frawley. He's been under enormous pressure. Kappa in a perfect position to mark that. There's his opposite full forward down the other end in Lockett. Plenty of talk by Lockett. That was terrific to Peter Budge. Back to Lockett. Oh, that was a bad hand pass. Good play, Lockett, because Lockett was under pressure. Should never have given it back to him. Peter Budge again goes. He's been terrific. Now he's hurt his calf, I think. He has, as he gets up hobbling. Now he's right. Might have been a touch of cramp. 14 kicks. That's a was off for most of the first quarter, wasn't he, Bob?
All the first quarter,
I think. First quarter. Well, that's a terrific effort, John Peter Budge. Up to half forward it goes, taken by Murphy for the Swans. Neagle has been a good player today. He's been an excellent player. And they're looking ominous again. They're back in form, the Swans. Hand pass, back it comes to Quirk. Wide, Bays. And will he duck back onto the left? No, he goes onto the right and he looks for Kappa against Frawley. Frawley over the back. No mark because it was touched by Kappa, said the umpire. In goes Warwick Kappa, held to him. And again, it is a stalemate. And they're both giving umpire Peter Cameron a few directions there.
I thought it was a mark, personally.
To Frawley.
Yeah.
Yes, 9 times out of 10, I think it would have been paid too, Bob.
We're approaching the 29-minute mark as Tony Morwood trying to get the hand pass through. Whitty comes through for St Kilda. Well played, Mark Whitty, as he picks Mark Dwyer, I should say. Dwyer it was, not Whitty. He gets a nice pass out to Lockett. Lockett with a hand pass over the top finds Burns. Burns back to Dwyer. Dwyer coming through the centre, puts the ball wide. McConville out in front takes a timely mark. So Peter McConville very wide on the half-forward line. Goes for the long kick. Drops short and Paul Hawke juggles it. Didn't take the mark though, and it's tapped out now to Henwood, who has time to come down. Gives the hand pass across to Coleman. Likewise out to Craig Holden. Holden puts it out in front of Tony Morwood, and Morwood, well, didn't take the mark. Could have easily have been a free kick. It's close to the boundary line, in fact over the boundary line. And the siren sounds at the final score. Sydney Swans 20 goals 14, 134. St Kilda 11-9, 75.